get it on.
You need like something heavy and you put something heavy at the bottom of it so we don't slip.
Trying to do it now. Hold on. Oh, bro. Oh, wait, I'm not doing it.
He's sorting it.
Yeah.
He's had 2 minutes football, look. It's too wobbly. Tony, thank you. I don't know if that's good. Is it good to look like Jason Newstead? I'll take it. I'll gamble. Thank you.
Oh, mate.
Heart. I'm not far,
I'll have
man.
to-
Probably, I don't know, 40 minutes, 45 minutes from Worcestershire. Not too far. What is going on here? We got James. James is the PG cameraman.
Cameraman, bro.
Young vegan with a head on his shoulders. Very impressed with James's take on the old vegan dance and whatnot. James, sorted, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone for tuning in. And we got James, cameraman of PG, puts in a shift behind the scenes. James, introduce yourself, man, and let's get it rocking. What is going on?
I'm chilling, man. What? So, are we talking about the? Is that still the agenda? Then the whole, like, people with the profile picture and whatnot. That's what we want to talk about. Or
Yeah, man. Start with where it started for you, man, because I think everyone who is above the age of 25 is going to think, wow, this geezer came alive, man, came awake at like a young age, and he saw the light from a young age. And how did it happen, basically? Because obviously it's quite a rare occurrence, man.
it's a weird one, bro. So originally, I got into all of it, right? Because I used to watch a lot of modern day spirituality and stuff, and really my take. I used to watch a guy called Aaron Doughty. I doubt anyone know him, but he used to talk. He was vegan originally, and he used to talk about like more of like a spiritual side of it, right? And nowadays, I don't really align with that. I don't really pay much credence to the whole spiritual part of it. But I think going into it, I started to like, how do I explain it? Like, it started to like open my mind to the ethical reason of it. Do you know what I mean? And I think it was that opener for me, because I think a lot of people, I think most people wouldn't like, if they were given the right opportunity, or like, you know, they were in the right place at the right time, they would probably get into that at some point. Something would open a door. Something would open a door to that belief, you know, or that like way of bringing that in. But I think most people, this is the thing, right? Like for me, I feel like I was just lucky to be in that position to almost like have that belief. But it's hard to explain because, you know, everyone's like life path is different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's nuts, man, because I didn't hear of the term. Well, I did, but I just thought it was like a leek soup or something. It just wasn't there for me. There was I heard the term. It was just like a weird diet or something like that.
Yeah.
And man, a lot of people say it took them years and years. Like I've heard people switch at like 50, 60, 40, whatever age it is. They say, "Why the hell did I not hear about this?" So like before you come across that, did you hear about it much? Maybe it's like a younger generation thing. I don't know.
I did, yeah. I heard about veganism, but it was more, you know, I mainly just, I never looked into it. I didn't ever hear about arguments toward or against it. I just heard of the concept. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't really like actually start thinking about it until I was brought into that belief from the videos that I watched. Do you know what I mean? So I think what it was for me is I honestly just got lucky with the videos that I watched, and they brought me into that, almost that mindset from a younger age. You know, but I think for most people, I think if they were in the same position I was, they would probably think similar to me. But I think it was because I was just in that. You know, I was young, but I was like 14, probably watching like modern day spirituality based concept videos, and I think that brought me into like people talking about animal ethics way before I was even old enough to like conceptualize it. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, that's nuts. I can't believe someone at that. Like, there's been times where someone's gone like, oh, I was 8 and I realised what it was and I didn't want to eat it. But like philosophically, for someone to understand it so early, it's rare, man. Really.
I think for me the philosophical arguments now, because obviously now I'm 22, it's like for me it didn't really like come to me. I didn't understand it fully until I was probably around like 17, 18. Like when I went vegan, how old was I remember 2019. Well, yeah, like 6 years ago now. So I was around like 16, going on 17 maybe. And for me at that time, it was more about like the videos that I watched. Like I said, I used to believe in a lot of like spiritual concepts. Now I'm not really too. I don't really pay much attention to that because I'm more skeptical of all that stuff, But yeah, I think for me, like I said, I think many people get into veganism because of something else. Like I don't know about you, but a lot of people go into it for health reasons, And then they start getting opened up to the ethical side of it, and then that's how they open up to that, And I think that's what it is, because I think most people, they do care. It's just that, well, there's differences. The same with vegans, non-vegans. Not everyone has the same reasons, or not everyone, obviously has the same way of looking at it. But for me, I think a lot of non-vegans would actually care quite a lot. Like they do care, they just haven't been exposed to the truth of it. And then there's some people maybe who work in like animal agriculture settings who just don't care. So I think there's a difference between those two types of things.
Yeah, man, it's mad because you have to deal with a lot of niggles, don't you? I've had niggle after niggle, little attacks and stuff like that. And I can imagine the younger the friend group is or the circle is, the more niggles you get. Maybe your mates are better. What was it like being that young and like having these
I
viewpoints?
didn't really talk to anyone about it, to be honest. Like my friends at the time, even now, bro, I don't really talk to people about it. I mean, I do, but mainly, like my close mates, I only really speak to like a few of my mates now, and like we don't talk about it. When I was young, I never brought it up really, because I just didn't really. Like, it's not that I didn't see the point, but at that time, I understand how it comes across. If you say something about being vegan or something to do with animals, people have this. Like the second you say anything, it's like, oh, you'll be like being militant, and it's like you could be 5 times as like understanding as the opposing side, but you're seen as a militant one because your view is like the minority view. So it's like you also have to be careful. Well, not careful, but you have to, especially for activists. I think, because I'm not an activist, but I think for activists, they, well, technically, yeah, but like, I mean, there's a lot of people out there like Vegan Fairy. She's a good one. She does a lot of like activism. I would say probably daily. And for her, she's a lot more. She's almost. She's had to. I would assume her and any other activist has had to be very careful with their wording, because people will spin anything. Like a good example is like, let's say if I say like, the lion argument. Everyone obviously knows that. And then someone will say, well, lions do it, so why can't I? And then I'll say, well, lions do tons of things. They'll like kill their child, but you wouldn't do that. And then instead of understanding that what I'm saying is the logic behind it is the same, they're jumping to, oh well, killing and eating animals aren't the same thing. But I wasn't implying that. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the issue with a lot of these things. That's what I think. It's like the semantics behind it. It's like it takes away from the actual point, I think.
No, because you can't win with. What did George post the other day? George posted the more intelligent someone is, the easier it is to win in debate, and the less intelligent someone is, i.e., online trolls, the harder it is, because it doesn't connect. It doesn't. They can't take in the information and then say something logical. They have to just keep jumping around and trying to get one over on you. Do you know what I mean? It's but to say that you've jumped into it at a young age is mad, man. Like you've already cracked it. You've heard it all. Like every single thing that you've been saying to me over voice is
I just spend a lot of time on Like I just see a lot of stuff on Instagram and TikTok and whatnot, and it's like I've seen like every argument, well, you know, like virtually every argument, and it's this is the thing as well. I don't think people really understand that, like non-vegans, or sorry, like if vegans in general, if they wanted to be as selfish as possible, they would not be vegan because of the taste. Like we haven't got a bias towards it for no reason. It's like I think you know what I mean. It's hard to explain, but
yeah, it's mad. But yeah, man. So you popped up a couple of months ago, and you said, "Oh man, you've got some you got some what do you call it, mate? You got some admirers in the comments, but we'll leave them there, man, because if you bring the admirers buzzing, it promotes the message." But yeah, man, how do I add a moderator, man? Okay, I'm just going to add a few people as moderator. Obviously, it's up to you if you want to help. I understand if not, if you've got better things to do. But I will add as moderator to a few people if they want to get rid of. We won't get rid of the admirers because it brings engagement. But yeah, we'll just leave it there. 1 second. Sorry to interrupt, mate, but control.
I'm trying to. I have to hold my phone, bro, because it just falls. So
yeah, you just need something heavy, mate, to put at the bottom to stop it thinking, innit? Just put like a book there.
No, I've tried, bro. It's fine. I don't mind.
Got the world's slippiest phone. Yes, John, thank you, mate. I'll put you as one as well, and then we'll get rid of the idiots. But we'll like I said, we'll leave the admirers in. He's gonna come out of this with 10 chicks. anyway, mate. Right, so yeah, so you popped up a few months ago, mate, and messaged me, and then obviously now, you wanted to get your foot in the door. It's a young age to do it, man. So fair play for stepping up. You are now the cameraman, man. So thank you for the help and the selfless acts and giving up your time and whatnot. 1 second there, mate. So yeah, man, let's jump into it. So lately, you've came up with something, and just as you said it, I said, I cannot believe you've said that, because I was just about to make a video on it.
Yeah.
I'll let you carry on, and yeah, just let's go.
What, the whole like dog?
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Non-vegans and their love for animals.
Yeah, obviously it could be a coincidence, but I feel like we both said it. Yeah. When we go on TikTok and Instagram and whatnot, we always see the people who there's like a niche set of people, right, who will like be very vocal against vegans, or you know, if someone makes a video about animal suffering and whatever, they'll comment something about like, oh well, this is normal, animals are meant to be eaten, etc. And then they always have pictures of their dog, like they'll have dedicated accounts to their pet.
And I just want to say, anyone who is, I haven't heard of this before. I haven't heard anyone say it, and it's interesting that we both clocked it at the same time. So anyone who is interested, see what you think of this. Carry on, mate.
Yeah. So it's weird, right? Because I feel like there's some kind of like, I don't know if it's some kind of cognitive dissonance, or you know, but people have animals as their profile picture and have an account dedicated to their pet, like they're very attached to the pet, right? And they'll almost like, how do I explain it? They'll have pictures of their animal and be very emotional towards their animal, you know, emotive towards their animal. But then they'll say, oh, well, this animal should be eaten and killed. But why on the flip side should, you know, their pet be treated the same way? It's like there's an arbitrary like rule almost that they make. Like, this animal is okay to kill, that one's not. It doesn't make sense to me.
The main thing to take away is how many people have the animals as the photos, man. Like, honestly, when you said it to me, I looked down my feed and I had like on my photo album, and I had like 4 or 5 screenshot ready pictures to put up. What is it makes, I wouldn't say the majority, but there's a big enough proportion there of animal lovers and dogs in pictures and fish in pictures and cats in pictures to be
Yeah,
noticeable. So it's not like most trolls have got animals in the pictures. It's just like, why is like 30% of like trolls got animals in the pictures? That's the way I see
it's
it.
weird, bro. I believe it. You know, it's like, first of all, I think the fact that someone's defensive over veganism in the first place, especially when it's like a harm minimization philosophy. I don't understand why you get annoyed about that. I understand people will almost feel like judged by vegans, and in turn they get defensive because they don't like the idea that people are telling them what to eat. Right? Like, I understand the mindset behind that. But when it comes to people who someone might post a video like, oh, like this, you know, like, it could be about a video, like a vegan might post a video of a chicken being grinded or whatever, and then people will comment, like, they didn't say anything in that video about you should be vegan, this, that. It might be implied through context, but people will comment getting like annoyed at someone trying to bring awareness to animal suffering. And it's like, I just think that's weird. Do you know what I mean? Especially with the pictures, and then those same people, some of them might have pictures of animals on their like profile, and might even have their whole profile dedicated to their dog or cat, for example. And it's like, if we're making a justification for one animal's death and the other, like, we should care for it, right? It's like, all of the arguments against veganism, most of them in my understanding, are rooted in the idea of, oh, well, we don't need to care about animals because they're wild animals, as a, you know. But if that was the case, wouldn't that logic be consistent throughout virtually every animal, not just one and then the other one not? You know, it's like arbitrary. You can't really logically explain that, in my opinion. But you could try. Like, you know, I've seen very few arguments against veganism where I could be like, okay, like, I do get that to an extent, you know. But I think many arguments are just, in one way they've slipped up and they've almost been inconsistent to something they said prior. You know, that's what I think personally.
I didn't realise how much of it was a defence thing until not even that long ago, like a year ago or something. And then I understood. I was like, that's why. Do you know what I mean? So you've clocked it already, man. You've clocked
Yeah,
it already.
it's just, I, yeah, I believe it's a mix of like societal right and wrongs, and also just people almost finding, like, you know, like the whole if people think an animal's cute. I mean, we see even in dogs, like, some dogs are seen as more cute and other ones are like, oh no, I don't like that dog, you know, like they might not want it to be killed, but yeah.
And what did you taught from a young age to treat everyone equally?
Yeah, but then people will still say, oh, well, you know, that should only apply to humans and not animals, and another arbitrary, you know.
Mad. Before we
Well,
get onto the doc,
right.
before we get onto the picture, I don't know if anyone wants to ask questions to the rare occasion, man, because it is a rare occasion that somebody clocks on so young. You know what I mean? I know I keep saying it, but it is mad, like, do you know what I mean? Because, like I said, it took me years and years, and I don't know if someone wants to ask any questions regarding that, because it is a different kettle of fish, man. You know, being part of it from a young age. So I just wait to see if anyone wants to ask.
Wait, I want to read that Brandon's reply. Wait,
Yeah, carry on, man.
sorry, let me try. I think he's basically saying, like, where do we draw the line between, like, ranking importance, right? Because obviously, I assume he's trying to say that vegans want to, like, put almost equal importance on animal, you know, like wild animals, humans, etc. And he's trying to say you can't keep going down that line because animals, plant bugs, and we've got microbes. And it says, he's basically saying, like, I think he's trying to say, if you keep on going with that understanding of, like, all, you know, all like beings are the same in moral worth, then how are you going to justify, like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, well, I'd spin it around and say, well, it's not me who's being inconsistent. So if you look at what you're saying, so for instance, just take you for instance, you're saying I accept that some bad things are going to happen, but you both agree on that. So you agree, and he agrees that some harm is going to happen. You draw the line there. He draws the line at a dog and a horse. So it's not actually the vegan being inconsistent; it's the non-vegan by saying, "Yeah, but where you draw the line?" Well, I draw the line up until the point where I possibly can. That's what people can't understand.
I think, yeah, I'm trying to understand. I think is he basically trying to say like, okay, I think the thing is we draw the line at different points, right? I think vegans and non-vegans probably have more in common than they think.
Way
I,
more.
I think that I think that vegans would just draw the line at a different level, obviously, than non-vegans, and it's hard really because like trying to be as consistent as possible with morals, right? I guess one could say like, oh well, if I go outside and like drive, I could like run over ants, right? So like, how am I not a hypocrite for driving and running ants over when you understand the point, right? And it's like there's two ways of coming at it. I'm not saying their point is completely like pointless and it doesn't make sense. I understand it. I just also think that that shouldn't negate the idea that veganism is pointless. I mean, because it doesn't negate veganism. All it does mean is that we should still care about other animals, and maybe vegans can sometimes. Well, I guess people would argue with this fact that it's hypocritical, not hypocritical. I guess it's difference in opinion. I guess, but
It's not though. It's not though because you don't want to kill an ant, but they want to drink milk.
no, I agree. I do agree. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to be as non-biased as
Nah,
possible.
don't. There's no way around it.
No,
Nah,
no, but
carry on.
I know. But I'm just saying, for example, what
Yeah.
I'm saying is like, um, how do I explain it? Like, for example, if someone wants to draw the line at a different level than someone else, right? For example, have you heard of Jainism?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you know how Jains will say like that they will cover their mouth when they're talking so insects don't fly in the mouth, for example. They'll stuff like that, right? It almost does sound like I'm not. It's obviously not an argument against veganism, but I'm just saying like some people will draw their vegan line at different points. What I'm saying is, there's vegans, but then you get some vegans who are more vegan, so to speak, than other vegans. It's and
Mm.
I think the issue is that non-vegans will get caught up, and vegans might get caught up on it. That like people want this perfect standard. It's hard to explain. But what I'm trying to say is basically non-vegans might say, well, if you are okay with killing animals in some cases and not others, and you're a hypocrite, etc. But then some vegans, to be a vegan, you can have different understandings of veganism and still be vegan. Some vegans might be very, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Some vegans might be more open to that. It depends.
Well, I just think there's a realistic line in that. There's like a realistic line of where it all ends. And for example, obviously, walking down the road with your mouth shut, breathe, breathing through a bloody net or whatever. I think you know what I mean. Come on, but yeah, like, but I just bring it back to the exploitation thing. It's like you've got to survive. You've got to do something. You've got to live. You know what I mean, you've got to live, and the vegan and the non-vegan both need to live. So that is
Yeah,
like that's like undisputable. It's just like, yeah, okay, that has got to happen. But then it's almost like, oh, then anything else can happen along the line just because of that. But then when you use that logic, you get to a certain point, and it's like, oh no, that's not okay because of this. And it's like, well, no, you've just said that it's okay to do that because of that, but no, it's not okay to do that because of that. So
yeah,
it's inconsistency from the non-vegan to use the crop death thing.
yeah. No,
Um,
I
what,
agree. I do agree. I want to
what,
respond to that, Brandon. He's saying we fit into the food chain and we don't deserve to be guilted for what is our nature. That's not to say we couldn't do that. Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? Like, it, I think with me, I'm not saying non-vegans are obviously like this is the thing, right? I feel like a lot of non-vegans might think that vegans just think they are automatically immoral for eating animals. I mean, maybe you do. My view isn't necessarily. I mean, I doubt you think that, but my view
mm,
isn't necessarily eating animals equals you are bad, because obviously then where am I drawing the line? Because I could say someone else is bad for doing something that fits my, you know, it is subjective, and I mean, for me, I'm a moral relativist, so I do believe morality is subjective. So some might say, oh well, you're a hypocrite. You can't prove your morality. How are you saying it's wrong or right to eat animals? It's like I think a lot of things are wrong. I think it's wrong to kill someone, but I can't objectively prove that. You know, obviously I believe it's wrong to kill someone, but I can't point to a god, for example, because I don't believe in objective morality. But I still believe that I believe that my point is majority of people would say harm is worse than non-harm. So by default, that would mean that veganism minimizing harm is better than non-veganism in that stance. You know, that's my view on it. You know.
Well, Vito, a regular visitor, so thank you. Morals, obviously, this was a little bit up. Morals are subjective. Preference is all it is. I'm allowed to like cats, dogs, and rabbits, and not like chicken. Nothing wrong with it. It's my preference. But that's again, it's species. It's species again in it. So it's almost like saying I'm allowed to like whites, blacks, and Asians, but I don't like Eastern Europeans. It doesn't. It does. It's not logically consistent, is it? And although it's like, okay, maybe it's not objective and it is subjective, but the 99% are the same. So you've either got to be against this or you're a psychopath. In my opinion, you can't just be like, oh, you know, I think that it's okay to do this because it's subjective. Because then
No,
that
I
would
agree.
have to stand up with humans as well.
This is the thing. I believe morals are subjective, so I can't objectively prove. Like I can't. You know, the same way we can prove that 2 + 2 = 4 by obviously, you know, I can't prove it, but I still believe it in principle and live my life like that. I think where vegans and non-vegans can match together or come together is like understanding that they almost like okay, well it depends, but like let's say you've got a non-vegan and a vegan, and they both have they believe in subjective morality, right? I think they can come to a mutual understanding of like you know to a certain level where they're both getting each other's viewpoints. I think where the problem is when you get people who are like, oh, I don't care, animals are meant to be eaten. That's not. It's to me. Then I feel like you're almost yes, it's still subjective in my eyes, but you're still drawing the line between like your two. It's hard to explain, but hopefully you get what I'm trying to say. It's like I believe that people will. I really don't know how to explain it properly, but I just believe that we could try and get to an understanding, like both people, vegan and non-vegans, and be like, okay, well, I believe this because of this and X, Y, Z, and the same for the non-vegan or vegan. You know.
From my experience, the XYZ on the other side is just taste.
Yeah, I agree. But it mainly is. It mainly is. I mean, I do think. How do I explain this? Like, I think that veganism is non-arguable in this ethically. Like, I believe that a harm minimization belief or act, you can't argue against that unless you want to argue the first premise of harm being bad isn't true. And the problem is most people will agree that harm minimization is morally preferable to harm. You know, like for example, if I said to someone, "Is it worse right now to hit a dog or not hit a dog?" They're obviously going to say not hit the dog because it causes dog harm to hit the dog, right? So veganism, it's just an outreach of basically people who don't want animals to be harmed unnecessarily. Now, I think where the problem comes in is that a lot of non-vegans will disagree and think, oh well, it is necessary to exploit animals for food. Obviously, I don't think it's necessary, but I'm saying some people might think it is because of health. Obviously, I'm the research I've done. I'm under the impression that we do not need meat for health at all, unless obviously if you're in a specific scenario. There are obviously scenarios where people need meat to survive, you know, survival, you know, but obviously veganism is targeted towards the first world. So we're talking of the first world, you know.
Yeah, going off what you just said there. So let's just say there's there's a group of people or a person, and they say, right, I believe the only reason that I do it, or the only reason that I fund animal ag, is because I believe that we need it. When do you ever? And this is interesting. I've spoke to people who are like ex-vegan or whatever, and you speak to them, and they they end up going off on a tangent and then they end up getting angry, just like most trolls. But if they genuinely thought that they needed it, they would say something like this. They would say, look, I get what you're saying. I agree that it's not nice.
Yeah.
You know, I know that it's violent, and I know that we all look away from the camera, and I know that most of us couldn't do it. But unfortunately, it's just what's the term? Like a guaranteed evil. What's the term? I can't remember what the term is. Like a necessity, like an evil necessity.
Yeah.
But no one ever says that. No one actually sits there and goes, "Look, I understand. I agree." But we just need it, and that's the only thing. They actually just keep jumping around, and I think that speaks volumes, man. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I do believe there's.
Brian, yeah, it's a necessary evil. That's what I was trying to get at. And they don't say that. They don't. And I think that speaks wonders, because that's when I think it boils down to an addiction, a threat to habit. Because otherwise, it would just, you'd hear that all the time. And I don't think I've ever heard, maybe once or twice out of like 10,000, I've heard someone actually say, I get it, I understand, but it's just like a necessity. It's a necessary evil. Thanks, Chris. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't believe. Of course, I don't think animal agriculture is necessary at all. Like I said, the only time I think eating animals is necessary is in places of situations of survival. Like, I'm not ever going. Let's say if someone's in, like in Palestine, for example. Let's say if they're like, I know in Palestine, because of the food shortage, I'm pretty sure they're having to obviously kill fish and stuff. And of course, I'm not going to blame a Palestinian for doing that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And that's another thing when people say like, "Oh well, if you're vegan, like, what do you think about people killing animals in this country?" It's like, well, obviously that is a different situation, because a need is different to a want. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, my taste pleasure is much different to my survival. So, like you said, um, like, when we need, if we're in a situation of survival, that, yeah, well, that's, is it's a much trickier situation. Obviously, I'm not going to like blame someone for that, but let's say we're in a situation and someone's like, well, I just like the taste of it, then I'll say, well, another good argument as well, is sensory pleasure justifiable for someone else's, death, suffering, etc.? Yeah, because in any other situation, we would not in any way say, okay, well, our sensory pleasure is more important than someone else's like well-being. Of course we wouldn't, even animal, like, if someone imagine if someone made like an argument and said, well, I like animals, but like, how do I explain this right? Okay, let's say someone's argument was that they liked animals, but like they like the sound of them like suffering or something like that. That's their sensory pleasure. Would that be justifiable? Of course not, because it's a sensory pleasure that they're getting from it. But the same as a taste, morally, what's the difference between someone getting a sensory pleasure from a taste and sensory pleasure from like a sound, in the sense of morality? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
100%.
I mean, I'm basically just like going off of Alex O'Connor's point. He said that before, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of a moral stance, if we're being true, like, just consistent with our own morals, the life of another is more important than our taste pleasure. If it's just taste pleasure, it just is. At least if you want to go on like everyone, like the average person's morals, and they might say, well, why are you creating like arbitrary morality, because it's subjective? Well, I'll just say, well, I'm going on your morality, because that same person is obviously against making people suffer for pleasure. Of course they are. Well, I would hope so.
I don't know if somebody. I'm gonna start to research the animal photo, because it's winding me up, and I just think it's weird how we both come across it. So I don't know if
Yeah,
you want to reply to a few people and what they've got to say.
how much make me laugh, bro? Take that beanie off, bro. It's not happening, mate.
Who's Beanie?
He told me, take your beanie off. What a joke.
Oh, you're Beanie. I thought you meant take
No.
one off the chat or something. Got ya. Right, we're gonna. So basically, the topic of, I mean, I don't know if you want to get into this now or carry on a little bit, but I'm going to really ask the robot man AI why this is and see what other people think, because it is mad, like what we said earlier. But maybe I will keep the ball rolling a bit longer. What's the, obviously you've only done a bit of activism so far, so you've just got the foot in the door with activism. Have you had any situations with idiots in the past, like obviously not doing activism, just everyday life, or any good chats that you've had? I know that you haven't done street outreach or nothing, but have you had any good or bad experiences so far, like talking about it? Or I know you're still trying to get your missus over, aren't you? Well,
yeah. Well, no, because I was saying, because remember I was telling you before that me and her like will watch a lot of like Joey Carbstrong videos and stuff. And like, do you remember? Because when I was telling you like months ago, like I showed her Joey's video,
yeah.
and then he was saying like, "Oh, that's really bad," and she hates it. Do you know what I mean? And this is the thing. I feel like a lot of people are there, like the same as me. Like, you know how I said years ago I needed that like video to push me to go into veganism. You know, like to understand the ethical position of it and stuff, right? It's like she, how to explain this? Like she, obviously her whole life she was probably like me. Like her watching these videos was her same like open into veganism and the ethical side of it than what I had. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I think it's like, you know, it's interesting really, because I think there are tons of good people out there that do care and think they do believe it's probably disgusting, but they're not not that they're not open to it. They haven't been given that avenue to it, you know.
Mm.
And I think that is the problem with many of these. I would say it goes to other, not just veganism, but like anything really, like a lot of things, like there's probably tons of like philosophical or like, you know, like ethical issues that I'm not even really like aware of and not thinking of right now, because
Mm.
I'm just not in that mindset to get it. Do you know what I mean? Like, not the mindset, but like I'm not in that path of life right now where I've been exposed to that. Like maybe I could watch a video. I mean, you know, just stop oil. I don't know anything about it really. I mean, I understand the basics of it. I'm not like a passionate just stop oil activist, whatever. But I might look into that years down the line and be like, oh shit, like I need to get my head around that, you know?
Mate, tell us about that that topic to do with when you said again, I'd never heard this before, and it's mad to hear it off here, when you said about people will happily boycott a country because of political goings on, but they won't boycott a company or something that is just as bad.
Meanwhile, that company is built on killing animals, basically. That's essentially the company.
I've got a business page, an activism page. On the business page, I made a reel about 3 years ago where I'd gone into a place in Russia and uh, gone to a vegan cafe in Russia. Now I gather that this customer or this person on Instagram was a vegan or a plant-based advocate. Do you know what I mean? And they've started commenting saying, "Why have you gone to Russia? Why have you done this? Why have you done that?" And I was like, "Look, I don't know about the war. I know that war is bad. Obviously, I'm against any kind of unnecessary violence. Obviously, I'm not for Russia just because I've been to Russia and brought food from a vegan calf." And this bloke was just having a pop at me saying, "Oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that." And obviously, I replied with, "Well, why are you living in England if they did this?" and blah blah blah. But that's how like strongly people feel about certain countries and that. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, he says here you're putting animals as if they are someone and that they deserve the same moral value as humans. You're putting animals and humans on the same level in the moral hierarchy. This is the issue. Being vegan doesn't mean you're putting animals and humans on the same hierarchy. I mean, some might. You know what I'm trying to say? There's different level of veganism isn't just one thing. Like, you know, with Christianity, you've got different denominations. You've got like Orthodox, you know, different like Pentecostal, whatever it's called, you've got different beliefs. Not obviously, for example, right? Like, if someone believes that animals are worth more than taste pleasure, that doesn't mean they think animals and humans are of the same worth. I mean, of course not. It doesn't. One doesn't mean the other. Some, like I said, some vegans may think that that's them. I don't know.
Does he go to the vets and say to the vets, why are you saving that dog from an early death? Are you equating humans to dogs? Why are you saving the dog? Do you know what I mean? I bet he don't do that, does he? He doesn't do that.
This is the thing. Like, I think people have almost like a belief that vegans are just in general, they're just important things, like sell earth than humans, you know. But it's like just because people might think, okay, well, animals are worth more than my taste pleasure, that doesn't mean they believe animals are as important than humans. Like, for example, if I was in a building and there was a human screaming and an animal like barking or dog barking, I'm not going to say, oh, I don't care about the dog, but I'm going to go towards a human just because I'm like, well, you just naturally do. Does that mean that I don't care about the dog? Of course not. Like I said, some people might want to save the dog. I don't know. That's a difference in their morals. I don't know. But I don't see why that is an argument against veganism. The only way someone could argue that against veganism is say, well, if you equate dogs and all animals as the same as humans, then
James is gone. Are you there, mate? You just froze. I don't know if you can hear me. Hello, hello. Star Wonder, beautiful. I don't know if James is froze for everyone else, but I might be talking over him. I don't know, but yeah, well done, Star Wonder. 17 years. How have you not died? How are you still going? What's happened to James, man? Maybe it's me. Maybe I've gone. I don't know. He's gone. I hope he comes back. Maybe it's his battery or something. But like, I know I keep saying it, but for a young head on his shoulders, it's mad, isn't it? I think how good he is. He's back. There. I was just bigging you up again, James. I was just bigging you up. He's back. Can you remember what you were on about? Or?
Wait, mate. I'm trying to sort. I might have to put my phone down for a bit if that's all right, because it's charging and I can't bend it.
Yeah. Like, surely you can prop it up on the side or something on the landscape.
It's my charger. It's like my charger's like broken at the bottom. Like, if I put it up, it's just.
you'll have to just stand up and look down like a.
I'm not doing that, mate. I'll do it in a minute. But anyway.
Hello, Dave. What's happening? 40-year-old vegan. Well done for your thing the other day, Dave. Well done. And yeah, quality.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah, but essentially, what was I even saying, bro? It's went up my head.
Oh, mate, it's gone. It's gone. Sorry, mate. I've gone blank as well.
I remember. I think I was talking about like how people will equate. Some people might equate dogs and humans the same, and some vegans might not equate animals. Yeah, so I believe that most vegans, I would assume the vast majority of vegans will say that they still believe humans are probably of more moral worth than animals. Some, I mean, I don't know. Some might actually say they believe animals are the same. In terms of, it's hard really, because I believe that I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, me as a human, I'm more important. That, like, I'm not going to say my life is more important than a dog's life or a cow's life, because like that's relative to the experience of the animal or the person, you know. I would obviously say that most people would say that humans are more important morally than animals, because we probably have like a broader understanding and someone could say that our deaths would affect more humans as well, but just sticking to the actual concept of just human, like human importance individually. I personally believe that it's hard to really say me as a person I'm more important than another animal, just because, well, who's to say that my moral worth is more than them? Who's to say that,
Mm.
Of course, in principle, I'm still going to act as if a human is, like, for example, like, if a person accidentally steps on an ant, or if someone accidentally killed a human, of course they're going to feel a lot worse about killing the human, aren't they? But that doesn't negate veganism and the whole idea of, like, well, I don't want to.
Said, well, why are you more important? And it's like, well, yeah, but
Course,
we can invent the internet, and we can fly to space and stuff. And then you're like, well, some humans can't. So are you more important than
exactly.
you
Yeah,
can't
I
go to
agree. Yeah,
space
it's
and
just,
invent the internet? James, have you got like a picture of yourself in your room?
have I got a picture? Hold on, I can. Let me
Get a
check.
nice romantic frame of you and the missus, and
It's
just
all
put it
right.
there.
I'll
So
try
we
and
got.
lift. No, it'll be all right. I'll lift. Okay, I think I fixed it now. Is that better? There we go.
He's gonna go over the sound, so just try and keep it nice.
Okay.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing, and it's like, everyone was just born from their mother. You know what I mean? You're just born from your mother, just like everyone else, just like every other living thing. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You can answer Brandon, mate. There's one there for you.
Okay, let me see. Okay, what about different species of plants in 50 years from now? The super result will get even sleeping. We'll continue to lead people in the noise of a person. Different species in plants. I don't get what he's saying, to be honest. I'm not sure he's talking to us or someone. No, I might just not get it.
No, I don't either. You're not on your own.
Yeah.
Choose a different one, man. Right, so Insomniac, if I could be healthy and as strong as I am now as a vegan, I'd consider it, but I don't think I'd be as healthy. Despite all the studies and the scientific evidence, I don't know what to say. Like, let's spin it around. If I did eat cow and I did eat pig, young, female cows, can tell me where I would be? I need to know what is it that you think is the difference? Because I don't get it. You've got the studies. We've got the studies on plant-based protein. Calories is the thing when it comes to energy, macros. So you can get the macros. So what is it that you think that you'd miss? Because I mean, I look around the gym and I know 3 or 4 vegans in the gym now, and they're massive. In fact, they stand out, man. They're not just big; they stand out as looking even better. Just from, maybe that's just me because I've spoke to them and they're vegan. But what is it that you think people are missing? What is it that you think you would lack? I don't get it. Obviously this is going off topic, maybe a bit nutritional now, but like, I just don't. I don't get it. Your vitamin B12 is better. My iron is good. My blood work is way better now than I went on. That I went on a meat diet. Yeah, but there's people that have done the opposite and it's gone the other way. So it's not. You can't. Science doesn't lie. Do you know what I mean? Science doesn't lie. It's not like it's not one or the other. It's just you can be sufficient in on an omnivorous diet, and you can be sufficient on a vegan diet. That is a fact. Like, you can't argue with this. In fact, an overload of iron has been linked to aging, which I believe is why every vegan I meet looks a lot younger than they are, because they're not overloading on iron. That's just one example. I know lots of people who have been vegan for 40, 50 years and they've had blood work done and they're fine. So, yeah, all right, your iron might have gone up, but if you would have eaten more lentils, or you would have had more spinach, would your levels have gone to the same? They probably would. I mean, it's as simple as that, man. There's no. It's maybe you just need a bit more research, man, because it really is all there to see.
But that was because I didn't know how to plan it. It doesn't obviously negate the diet. Like, I don't know, man. I believe that people. I could also have like a diet with like animal products in, and I don't plan it right. Like I could just eat a lot of ice cream and chocolate and whatnot, and then my hormone levels are kind of out of whack, etc. Does that negate a meat in diet? No. People know you can be healthy and eat meat. It doesn't negate the health level of it.
I believe it to be 200 billion, right? So, what was his name? I forgot his
Yeah.
name. Insomniac, right? What is the supplement industry worth? I think it's 200 billion, but we're going to look. Uh, yeah, 200 billion USD. So, as of 2025, the global dietary supplement industry is estimated to be worth approximately 180 to 200 billion USD. And obviously, that is going to include the main ones. Obviously, it does come up that it's like sports nutrition, herbal remedies, and whatnot, vitamins and minerals. But do people really think that the 3% vegan and the 10% vegetarian are really funding that and coming up with 200 billion? Like the majority of supplements are coming from the general public. So it's like, well, it says it all, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Animals via supplement anyway. Am I wrong in saying that? Yeah, I don't know for sure. But like, if that is
Natural because we maybe have to look at one thing, B12, because of the way the world is and it's polluted and there's a cobalt deficiency and there's all these things, sanitization of the world and pollution of water and things like that. So we're not getting what we did 500 years ago. But at the same time, these people will buy dairy products which are fortified with vitamin C. They'll buy animal products which are the most unnatural thing you can buy because it goes down a million steps to get to where it is in a little package in the supermarket. The animals are fed B12, but they'll happily look to you and say, "Oh, but you're lacking. You're not unnatural. Yeah, you're not natural because your diet needs a B12 tablet," which is not always the case. And also, it's just as unnatural as a bloody omnivorous diet. So
that proves that veganism is like not natural. So we need many things in this world. Like like supplements don't equate like the former being uh unhealthy. If that makes sense. Like even if that were the case, like okay, well, cool. Well, we've got supplements now, so we can be. You know what I mean? Like we're not living in the past where we couldn't create supplements at the time. So to me, I don't really get that argument. To be honest, it almost feels like people say that just so we'll see. Like it shows that it's not natural. So well, what does natural mean to you? Even in the health industry, irrespective of like veganism and any like philosophy, um, people, even like nutritionists, they'll say like whoever says like natural, like like for example with skincare, people will like, have you seen beef tallow? People like rub that on their face as a moisturizer. Yeah, it's like people say, well, it's natural, so it's better, but it's like, well, what do you mean? Like, there's natural like poisonous like mushrooms outside. Is that better for me than like I don't know anything else really? No. So yeah,
rainforest. Let's see how well that Steve gets on in the Amazon forest in his natural habitat because that ain't going to happen. Do you know what I mean? He ain't going to be dipping toads with needles and firing them through bamboo leaves to take down his prey. Do you know what I mean? That ain't going to happen. So mm,
what they do in the animal agricultural industry is way more unnatural than taking a supplement. Like they'll see taking a supplement as okay, well, it's not natural now. Well, what's natural about like antibiotics? Like growth hormone, is that natural? And if you want to talk about like letting nature do its course with the whole circle of life shit, right? What about like letting the chickens have their lay their eggs and actually, letting their eggs go on and so forth. If you care about naturality, like why would you like not oppose the unnatural system in the first place? So it's not about natural or not. They're just trying to find something to like, oh, like, okay, well, yours is not natural, so it's wrong now. But there's two premises that they've got wrong, so I don't know. Yeah. Mm, yeah.
Dipping his finger in a toe like that and killing the deer. It ain't gonna happen, man. So you can go on about a natural world and give it a try, man. I urge anyone to give the natural world a try and see how you get on because it's a joke, man. And like I said, it only applies to the B12 tablet. It doesn't apply to the factory farming. It doesn't apply to the vitamin C going into the dairy. It doesn't apply to the it doesn't apply to steroids because people actually take steroids and go, oh, that's not natural, and you're taking steroids. So there's way more things on the other side than there is on our side. Do you know what I mean? Um, yeah, it's nuts. Don't know if you want to have a room, mate. Mm.
Say that argument is terrible. Like, it does not make any. It's just illogical. And if we want to talk about like the circle of life, why do we all cry if someone gets eaten by a lion? Isn't it the circle of life? Like, why are we against that then? Like, oh, they naturally, like, if a human gets like killed by a lion, of course we're not going to be shouting, oh, but it's a circle of life. Well, of course not. Like, it's still bad, and we almost react in said way that it's bad. And then I know someone's going to spin this and say, well, humans and lions are different. Like, we matter more. I'm not talking about that. The understanding of circle of life. If circle of life is an applicable universal concept, then it applies to every animal eating every other animal, not just when humans aren't the ones being eaten. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Evolve in some aspects and then not others. They want to like hold back to their primal primitive state, but then they're happy to have a phone and like drive a car and go to bed at night in the like in the house, uh air conditioning, central heating. But no, but we still have to like act like a primal animal. So, well, why can't we evolve in in a more like consistent manner? Why do we have to hold back other things? I mean, of course, like, it's bullshit. It's just because people just wanna like find an argument, and they think they found it with like, oh, the circle of life. But to me, it doesn't make sense at all.
um, sorry, more important between sentient beings and matter. Exactly that, mate. I looked outside yesterday and there was a bird of prey, and this bird of prey, Mrs. passed me the binoculars, looked up, and he's took a nosedive from like, I don't know, 300 meters into the bushes. And I'm like, whatever they saw, it's extremely good eyesight, man. And this is going on to more intelligence and importance, but it's like, in that bird's head, he's more intelligent than me, and he is in that instance. You know what I mean? He's got eyesight, eyes of an eagle, as I say, eyes of a hawk, and it's like humans can't do that. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of importance, yeah, man, it's like why do you? It's almost like the thing in a work environment, isn't it? When everyone sucks up to the one above. It's like, well, why are you sucking up? Do you know what I mean? Why are you so important? Um, I don't get it. I never have got it. I've never have got that thing with importance. You know what I mean? Then if you,
like intentional direct animal torture and exploitation. That's another thing, right? I think we focus too much on like how many numbers. Oh, well, crop deaths do this many, so that means that negates veganism. It's like, well, veganism isn't just about harm it is about harm minimization, yes, but to a lot of people, it's also about the dismantling of the idea that animals are like basically for our use in the first place. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like even if there were, let's say, even if there were comparable levels of harm, which there's not, but just for hypothetical sake, if there were, I still don't see why that means we shouldn't try and dismantle the understanding that animals are like commodities. You know? Mm.
No, you're good, mate. Yeah, you're good for me.
Like I think about it a lot. Like it does annoy me, especially because a lot of my for you page and Instagram like homepage is primarily this stuff. I have so much going on that like a lot of the time my mind's elsewhere. But when sometimes you have those days where you watch, like for example, I watched Joey's video not long ago. Um, and you know when you have those days where you almost just like, like you're like, oh mate, like I'm actually like everyone's just crazy. Like I know it's, of course I don't think everyone is, but you know when you have those days where you're like, mate, like everyone seems to just not give a like just not care. And it's like when I say anything, I'm seen as like the over the top one, but it's like in any other situation similar, I would be like seen as a normal one. It's just annoying, you know.
Took some footage that has got almost well, in total, you've hit like 200 to 250,000 views, man. I know that you're that side of the camera, but it's 50% of the job. So you're already in the door, and you've done good things. Are you looking at getting in and doing something? Obviously, no, it's up to you, obviously, and just seeing where you are, like what's going on.
Coming across like I'm almost like slating them for like being immoral or something because I feel like that is a big thing with this. Like, you don't want to like basically call someone an idiot and this and that, and then essentially they're going to almost, you know what people are like they'll almost use that as a reason to like fuel the hate even more against this specific belief. So I feel like it does more harm than good in the long run. Like I, I honestly don't know, man. Like I know you do a lot of like public activism. You'll go do this and that and this. It's definitely something I'd be interested in, 100%. I don't know if I have.
Flip your lid and say the wrong things. But from what I've heard over the last few months, it'll be completely the opposite. You've got that level head. Um, you know that you've got to talk to people in different ways, depending on who it is and what they're saying and how they come across. And you how can I put it? You're good at seeing it from their perspective. Do you know what I mean? You've been there. And that's probably the hardest thing of after speaking to people is the hardest thing is actually coming out of yourself and putting you on the other side for a little bit, just to not be to this or to that. You know what I mean? And I think that's what you're good at, man. I think you'll be. I don't know if you're coming to Birmingham on the 2nd.
What's it, Birmingham? I don't know.
WTF are coming to Birmingham on Saturday, 6 days time, with the big screens. And like I said, man, have a pop off camera, because when you're off camera, there's no pressure. Not you forget about that anyway. Like, you'll forget about the camera anyway when you are, but you'll talk to people and it'll get you put in the door. And what a way to do it, where there's a massive screen in the middle of the city centre, people are walking past, and you can just say, like, "What do you think of this?"
Yeah. But I want to reply to. Wait, I don't want to cut you off. Are you done?
Yeah, come on, mate. Yeah, I'm done. Carry on.
Yeah, because I want to read that Insomniacs. Well, animals are kept as livestock so people can eat. I don't see anything wrong with that. People could care less if a predatory animal is. See, the way I see this, right? The whole, like, oh, well, animals are kept as livestock, so because they're kept as livestock, it's okay. I'll have two questions. One question is to the Insomniac guy: if animals weren't kept as livestock, as in, if an animal wasn't bred for livestock, does that change your stance on the morality of eating them or the implications of eating them, or etc.? Second of all, just because we have an intention to breed something for a specific purpose doesn't, in my opinion, mean that it's okay to do so. Because, and I think that people being consistent would have to say the same. Just because, if I said right now, is it okay to breed whatever into existence, to do whatever, people be like, well, no, because why should you be able to breed it into existence to cause it harm? So why is it different when I have this specific arbitrary, like, difference in if someone breeds that animal for that reason? Personally, I think if people are being consistent, I don't really see why they can justify that while also not being inconsistent in other areas with that same belief, with the same logic,
Yeah.
Because, like, let's say right now, if I said, oh, if I breed a dog for like to eat it or to like harm it, are people going to say that's okay? Well, of course not, Well, maybe eat it, I don't know. But if I wanted to breed a dog to harm it, obviously that's not going to be seen as okay, because, well, why would you want to breed something to harm it for no reason, right? Even if someone got pleasure out of that, there's weirdos in the world who would get pleasure out of that. Is that justifiable in their case? Well, again, no, probably not. So who draws the line? And I find it slightly hypocritical, because these same people who will argue against veganism, saying, well, you're okay with, like, insects getting killed, it's like, well, you're almost calling veganism hypocritical because of that difference, whilst you're okay for you're okay drawing the line at other points, but it's all the same kind of thing. It's like, I don't know. Let me see what he says. So they are no longer looked as a life form other than a food source. Food. You can't look at what you're eating and feel something for it. If you look at so again, like, just because something is bred for food, right, and they are no longer looked at as a life form, all that is saying is how humans look at them. It doesn't morally explain why it's okay. All it's doing, in my opinion, is saying that we do this and we do this. It's not saying why that's okay to do that with a logical, consistent belief. See, this is the issue. It says, no, if you have a connection to said animal, of course that would be wrong because you bond with it. But the difference is, okay, this is what my problem. This is my problem, right? It's wrong as soon as you get a bond with it, right? But why are we looking at the harm? Why are we looking at it, right? Why are we not looking at it from the animal's perspective? Because the way I see it is, like, if I have a bond with that animal, it changes absolutely nothing about the harm of that animal, right? Other than how I view the harm of the animal. Again, why does that matter when we're talking about the animal suffering? Because we are not the ones suffering in context. So why does the morality change of their suffering when the whole moral and ethical debate is about the morality of how their perceived suffering, not ours, So why does it change as soon as we are okay with it? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Does he think, or I'm guessing a he, she, whatever, like, Insomniac, what do you think everyone in this chat is doing? Do you think they're, like, sitting in the middle of their kitchen, like, skin and bones, like, gasping for air? Like, why would you think that? Like I don't get, but within like I'm lucky. I might be lucky. I'm privileged. I've got like 5 supermarkets within walking distance, um, or bike distance. Like, come on. I know people are not in this situation, but who the hell is starving? There's a very, very small percentage of the world that is starving. And also, just to add, if the world shifted to a plant-based diet, these people could then be fed.
um, that as like if we have a connection to the animal, then it changes the moral stance of killing the animal, right? Would he still apply that exact same logic to a human situation? Like, for example, if I have a bond with another human, does it make it worse if I hurt them or kill them? Or does for example, let's say I ran out in the street and just punched someone in the head, right? Is it worse because I know them, or is it, the harm is still there? I would assume that people would say it's the same because, well, why is it any different? Like, I don't see why that plays into the equation. Oh shit, my phone fell.
I think people can't put themselves in the shoes of others. Basically, is the problem. It's like everything is from one angle. It's always from the same angle.
But this is a problem.
um, what's the quote about victimization? Um, humans, they can't. I can't remember the quote about victimizing. Someone will know. Putting yourself in someone else's shoes, basically, and the victim is not yourself. Victimizing blindly. It's you just can't see a victim unless it's their self. Basically, do you know what I mean? It's mind-boggling for me.
But then I feel like I said one thing and then you went into another point, and then I said another point and then he went into another point. Like I gave answers to the points, and now I feel like he's gone something else about, like, well, if we can't go vegan because about the money to implement it with the structure. It's like I feel like every time you have an answer, it almost doesn't get answered because it's almost unanswerable, and then it'll go to something else and something else. Like, for example, if someone says, "Oh, well, lions do," I'll be like, "Okay, well, no, because do you think that just because animals do something that means that we can do it?" Well, no. Okay, so that's irrelevant. And I'll say, "What about?" They'll say, "Well, yeah, but we need to be healthy," and I'll show objective studies that show we don't. Oh yeah, yeah, but what about this? It's like, bro, you just say that you just don't care, bro. It's not that deep. You know what I mean? I mean, it is, but like, if you just want to be honest and say I don't care, it's calm, bro. Just say that. You don't have to like. I feel like people, you know what it is. I don't want to speak for him. I don't know, but I feel like a lot of people just don't want to be honest and say, because they don't want to feel like bad. They don't want to be like, oh well, I'm in the wrong here. I just want to do what I want to do. So they want to almost like bring up reasons as to why, yeah, but it's not my fault because of this, and I need it because of this. It's like, bro, just admit that if you don't care, it's fine. Just say you don't care, bro. Do you know what I mean? If you're morally ready if anybody's morals are valid and who you tell them no, you can't just find your. Didn't I bring that up earlier though about like me being a moral relativist and saying that I can't objectively prove anything? Look, I can't objectively prove that eating animals is wrong any more that I can objectively prove that it's wrong to kill someone. But does that mean that I can't critique someone's worldview if they think it's okay to kill someone? Obviously, I can, bro. So like, I don't. I get what he's trying to say. Like in the you can't objectively prove it. Of course, I can't. But the say I can't like. There's a lot of things we can't objectively prove, but we still lead our life that it's true because we have reasons to believe such a thing. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, like Brandon, like if you're, I don't know if this guy's has objective or subjective morality, but let's say he has subjective morality. I don't know. Can he objectively prove that it's wrong to kill someone right now on the street? No, but he's obviously going to critique someone if they're running around saying they're going to kill people. So
Yeah.
why is it any different
Look,
in this situation? The
back,
only
back,
difference is he
back
doesn't
to the
see it as an issue and we
victimization
do.
thing, innit? When they're the victim, all of a sudden,
Maybe,
the
yeah.
oppressor's in the wrong. The oppressor's in the wrong when they're the victim, but when they're not the victim, morality is subjective. So who are you to say? But as soon as they're the victim, all of a sudden they flip the switch, don't they?
See, again, like, okay, if killing people is wrong and it's not wrong to kill animals or whatever you're trying to imply, for one, where can you objectively prove that? Because if you can't, you're in no other stronger position than me to say that it's wrong to kill a human. Then I'm saying it's wrong to eat an animal. You know what I'm trying to say? Bro, I've said this. Yeah, like, well, you can't judge my choice because I'm saving the human. Who can? Again, yeah. I said earlier in this live, did I not say that being vegan doesn't mean that you equate two as the exact same moral relevance? Like, I agree that there are differences in moral worth between humans and animals, in my opinion. Not in the terms of I'm more important, but I'm still in principle, as in action of my life, I'm going to put a human before an animal if they're in the exact same position of suffering, for example. Does that mean that I don't? Does that mean that I think like we still can't care about animals to a degree? Of course not, bro. You know, this is the issue. I feel like people don't get the arguments that I'm saying when I'm talking about them, and it's almost. But it's like, bro, I've already said. Do you know what I'm saying? They still deserve grace and respect. The refuge. Yeah, but again, Brandon, like, okay, let's say we both agree that in principle in our lives we would put humans above animals. Like, if we were going to save one, why does that then mean if you're showing that you still think animals can suffer and should be respected to a degree? So why would you not want to extrapolate that and then make an argument for, okay, well, we should try and minimize that when we can instead of making arguments to justify that suffering? Do you know what I'm trying to say? You can respect something you kill and honor it by eating said animal. Well, okay, can we apply that exact same logic? Can I respect a human if I'm killing it, or does the logic suddenly become unusable when it's a human? Even though the logic should be, come on, bro. What can we say? I don't know what to say to that, bro. Because obviously he'll just say, well, humans are different. But, like, it doesn't change the logic. Supermarket rules. It's funny, bro. Isn't it funny though? People will talk about like how we're like, oh man,
The donation link, I'd chuck a fiver at that. That's worth a fiver, man. Right, is it time to move on to the dogs in photos? Because this is really weird, man. So I'll just explain to everyone. So basically, James said to me, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, that he said, "Have you noticed that all the anti-vegan trolls have got animals in their photos?" And by all he means like there's a lot of them. And I said, "You would not believe this because I literally screenshotted animals in people's photos like the day before, and I was ready to make a video on it. Um, and I was like, I cannot believe you've noticed that because I can't believe how many people call me names and comment on other people's videos and being anti-vegan, and they've got pets in their pictures, dogs, cats. It's usually a dog. Sometimes it's a fish, but that's because they're a fisherman and they feel bad. Other times it can be like a cow, and sometimes it'll be a farm animal. But usually it's pets, it's dogs, cats, and like a horse or something. So yeah, it's usually just like their pet dog in it. So I'm gonna ask ChatGPT, why do you think it is that anti-vegan trolls who regularly comment on vegan content have got animals or pets in their display picture? Is that what it's called? DP display photo in it. Um, James, please tell your theory, your deep theory, not like the obvious one, but you know the one you
Uh,
said about like maybe it's like it goes deeper. Can you remember?
okay, my theory, right, is I believe that um I believe that people who have these animals as their profile pictures, and mainly the people who have their accounts as their animals, so they love it so much. I believe like a lot of them are almost, the concepts of people, right, when they from a light's broken, bro. Yeah. Anyway, I was saying people, right. Okay, I'll give an example. It's analogous to, like, let's say if someone always says they're a good person, like we all obviously know everyone, right? We know someone who will say, "Oh well, I'm a good person. I'm a good person. I'm a good person." But then when it comes to it, like they're more bothered about showing that talking about them being a good person than being a good person, right? And we obviously all know people who do that, and then they end up doing things that like are not good, so to speak. I think that people who usually are a certain thing don't like they don't want to try to prove to everyone, like, oh well, But I think with the animal people, a lot of them are they're leaving hate on vegan videos. Like I'll see quite a few people, specific people, they'll comment a lot on like they'll comment anti-vegan things on a lot of vegan posts, like tons. Like I'll see them a lot of the time. Um, and those same people, they'll have pictures of animals that they love, apparently, their dogs and cats and stuff, and they'll like dedicate their whole account to that animal, you know. And it's like, well, how see me right? Um, like I'm not like a pet person. Like I'm not that. You get vegans who are like very passionate about like having pets and etc. Um, I'm not even that type of guy, but I still know that like if you want to be consistent, it's obviously not a good thing to cause an animal to suffer. I feel like it's kind of common sense. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I don't feel the need to go and show my dog and do this and that because I don't. Like it's just almost normal to not be like that. It's the same kind of logic when people say, "Oh, I'm not a cheater. I'm not a cheater. I'm not a cheater." They've cheated on like five people. It's like I've never cheated, and I've never had to even say that once because it's just why would anyone believe that I am such a thing? Mm.
Is Jake, I reckon, propaganda star from John. Example: Himmler developed the urban myth that Hitler was a vegetarian. He also had blinding his German Shepherd. The Nazi Party closed down the vegetarian. Um, what was that to kind of make him look good, or what? What was the kind of message with that? Like urban myth that there was. Yeah, I'll come back to that one, mate. If you can give a bit more info, but compartmentalized compassion, 100%. Moral schizophrenia. It's
The only problem is trying to control other people. Yeah.
um,
etc. He did that, but then in reality, he's getting angry because people don't want animals to suffer. So, do you really care enough? It's similar to people who are like with a partner, right? And they post all the time about how much they love the girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. And then behind closed doors, they're like treating them like, it's like, well, why would you, if you actually cared about your partner, why would you have to let everyone know every day? And then you're the type of person to do that behind closed doors. Because I know many people who,
is that what you're on about? Like people who have got this like obsession with being rich, and they'll talk about money, and they'll talk about income, and they'll talk about all these things uh, because they want to be rich. Is that what you're on about? Rather than actually being, yeah.
don't actually want to be that thing. They just want to come across as that thing. So they want to come across like they care because they don't care. So they're more inclined to make it seem as if they care. Like on the other hand, there's people who will probably take it as just a given that you're meant to care about animals, and they don't even post or talk about it because it's just a given that you just shouldn't want them to be harmed. So you know, you know. Oh, I saw that. Huh. Yeah, oh yeah, sadistic, bro.
she jumped through so many hoops to get away from the fact that she doesn't want me to harm her cat because she loves her cat. Like,
the moral argument only matters when you are involved. But the whole point of a moral argument for animal suffering is that it's about them. And if we're taking it away from them, then it's showing the disconnect. You know.
or pets in their display photos. And I'm going to press enter now, and we're going to see what comes up. So, I hope that all the anti-vegan trolls are listening. I don't know how many are in here, but okay. So, cognitive dissonance shielding. They may subconsciously use animal imagery to protect their self-image as animal lovers, deflect guilt or criticism for supporting animal exploitation, or signal that they care about animals without having to change their habits. It's a psychological coping mechanism. By displaying affection for some animals, they resolve their inner conflict of also harming others. For example, eating pigs but loving dogs.
Yeah. It's essentially what we were saying, bro. This is basically the same thing.
Mm.
Something like, okay, let me look at Insomniac's thing. You can love your animal but still eat meat. It's not like people who eat meat look at their animals as food source, more like an extended family member. What? Does that make it just... I'm confused. Surely that just makes it even worse.
It's
You're
not like
saying...
people who eat meat look at their animals as food source, more like an extended family member.
I'm confused though, because
I don't
is
know.
he... I don't want to twist his words, but is he trying to say that, like, farmers look at their animals as an extended family member?
That's even
Okay.
worse.
I would literally starve than eat my own animal.
You,
Okay, so
you,
you
you're
do
on our
care
side
about
then.
that. So you get the point then. The only difference is you only care about animals that you will own. That's the difference, realistically.
Uh, so Brenda's coming with the classic. I've missed. I don't know if Brenda's been there long, but Brenda's coming with it. I don't care what you
What
eat.
you eat beans, eat meat, your
Eat
body, your food.
your
Well,
choice.
hold. Okay, Brenda, I've got an example. Let me ask Brenda a question. I don't care what you eat. Eat beans, eat meat. Your body, your choice. It applies to food too. Okay, my body, my choice. If I wanted to eat humans right now, do you agree with that premise, or do you change your logic and you suddenly believe that it is wrong to eat certain things for our body? Because you're saying your body, your choice, so morality is out the window, right? So does that mean that it's okay for me to eat a human now because it's my body, my choice, or are you gonna see? They've got two problems now. They'll either say no, well, it's different as a human, showing that they do believe that food shouldn't be a justification, or second of all, they have to say, well, okay, well, no, it's okay, you can eat a human, and then they're basically okay with cannibalism. So, where do we go from there, bro? Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like a trap. It is a trap, bro. It is. It's a problem.
Reply would be, why is it then, if you've got that belief, why is it that you would frown upon someone dragging a dog along the floor across the pavement or sidewalk, to be then dropped into a pot of boiling water to then be chopped up and eaten because the flesh tastes better when it's boiled and it was alive when it was killed? They raised it. They raised that animal. They could have raised it. It had a good life up until the point it was dragged across the floor and put into the boiling water. But soon as it's something that is not a belief that was given, soon as it's like, oh no, that's a pet. It changes then, so it'll keep changing and it just jumps around, and it's the same old story. Um, Yeah, lots of applications that eat puppies. That's not an answer to the question. No, that's not like a solution to what I'm saying. That's just like, oh, they did it. That's fine. It's not fine though, is it?
What we just talked about. She said that, like, it's okay to eat what you want. She said as long as it's food, it's fine. But I've just brought up, like, okay, well, humans are made of meat, and I can get nutrients from humans. So is that okay because they're a food source? But if she said, like, again, like I said, I do not support cruelty, but I support a person's right to choose what they eat. Okay, Brenda, can you answer my question then? Like, this isn't a trick question. It's just a yes or no. Are you okay with someone wanting to eat humans because it's their body and they can choose what they eat? Where did she, bro? She did not answer me. Not me. I eat the animals that I raise. Lots of nations eat puppies, kitties too. She didn't. I don't see where she answered me though. I don't see where she answered me. All she said is not me. I eat the animals that I raise, and then she next said, lots of nations eat puppies, kitties too. But I said humans though.
Compare humans to animals because a dog is an animal. So yeah, but that's she did not answer. It's like some people eat dogs, yeah, but I'm asking you, I'm asking Brenda why she would frown upon a dog getting dragged across the floor and put into a boiling pot. You've just said that it's okay to eat and kill the animals that you raise. So I'm saying, okay, what if someone raised a dog nicely, dragged it across the floor and put it into a boiling pot? And she won't be able to answer. She'll just say something like, "Oh, in Korea, like they eat dogs." It doesn't stand up, man. It doesn't.
This country, I don't know where you're from, but let's say you're from the UK, America, wherever, right? In your country, do you think it should be okay if someone wants to eat humans right now because it's their body, their choice? Do you believe that, or do you think it's suddenly a moral issue? Because if you believe it's a moral issue, then by default, you don't believe in the premise of you can eat what you want, you know. And this is a problem. I feel like people say, "Well, yeah, tribes do it, so they can do what they want." When I'm talking about you, like I'm talking about me, you, people in the UK, America, Canada, wherever, bro. Like, I don't know.
As well. So if you want to, if Insomniac wants to talk to James, and I'll just shut up, maybe that'll help. So try that one. You're fine to me, man. You're completely crystal clear. But maybe I need to shut up, man.
No, no, but I'm confused. She said she doesn't care if people will eat humans for food, but I'm confused though because she just surely you just would. No, but we're not. See how they like add little things in, like if I was starving. No, no, I'm not talking about that. We're talking about like under any situation, not a situation of necessity. And the reason I bring that up is because she said if it's food, you can eat what you want. She didn't say you need a moral justification. She said, well, yeah, you can eat what you want because like it's food, you know, and you can do what you want with your body. So take away the if I was starving. I'm not taught and okay. And when I ask this, she might say, well, I don't want to eat a human. I'm not asking that. I'm saying, do you think it's a moral issue to eat that human if you want to? If you want to, I'm not talking about necessity. You can go and get KFC, McDonald's, vegan food, but you want to eat the human. Is that a justification, or is it suddenly an issue? Because if it's an issue, then you agree that there are some instances in which people shouldn't be able to eat whatever they want because it causes harm. So where are we? Where's the symmetry breaker between the two? Do you know what I'm trying to say? I can't really say it any clearer than that, bro. I can't really say it any clearer than that, to be honest. I feel like people will always like change a variable. Like if I say, okay, don't do this, or say, well, yeah, but if I was in a survival situation again, no, we're not talking about that. The reason they're bringing up survival situation, this, that, etc., is because they know that they need some justification. They know it, bro. This is why I don't understand. This is why I don't understand the dodging of the question. Just take out the tribe and the whole like. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, man.
I just want to say I've got people who admit to me, like they've just said, "Look, I know that this is unnecessary, but I just don't care." And do you know what I say back? I say, "That's the only answer is that you don't care. Like that is it. Like it's not like it's like how can I put it? Another way of putting it is, I know non-vegans. I know multiple non-vegans who agree with us. So it's not just vegans that you're arguing against. You're actually arguing against non-vegans who admit it.
you just said, sorry, people eat people. She didn't give me a straight up answer. She said both times, well, tribes do it. I don't have a problem with that. But we're not talking about tribes. So obviously, I'm going to ask again. And then she also said that, oh, well, yeah, if I was in a survival situation, again, we're not talking about survival situations. Vegans will be okay with people eating anything in survival situations mostly. So I don't get that point. This is a problem. They don't answer the question, bro. Second of all, in Somnat said, when you look at animals as lesser life forms like I do, then it's not much of a moral issue. Okay, well, what if I looked at you as a less like a lesser life form? Is that okay? Because that's how I view you, or is that suddenly different? I don't know. To be honest, bro, I feel like with conversations like this, you can't really get to the point because it doesn't get. You know what I mean? Like, as you can see, bro, I've answered every question, and I'm not shying away from the question. I'm just, because I've got no reason to lie. You'll know what I'm like, yeah. Like, if I think that, oh, like, I'm caught there and I can't answer it, I'll say, yeah, that's on me. But I just don't see the point in like being.
Puppy that got attacked and eaten. Let's just say it was Brendan's family member that was the victim. All of a sudden, she would care. But it's just like, I don't care. Shit, I don't care about this. I don't care about that because I'm not the victim. But when it flips, you would soon care, and I can promise you that. Maybe you've just never suffered in your life. Like maybe you've just never been the victim. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Well, that's
The only problem is both times she answered, she was saying, oh yeah, if I was in a survival situation. Bro, she knows, she's not stupid, bro. She knows what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say you're adding different variables for no reason. And she knows what I'm trying to say. So why is she trying to act as if like, oh well, no, you weren't saying that. I've already answered. You didn't give me an answer and said, yes, I don't care if people eat humans, whatever the situation. You just said tribes, survival. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm trying to say, bro. Um
put yourself in that in them shoes. Like I don't care if people eat people.
answered you. I've said it's okay. So essentially, she's saying she's alright with people eating people in any circumstance. So cool, then, bro. That's fine. We've answered the question. See how it is. Like, that's that easy, bro. But, probably, bro.
Want to appear so people with animals in their photos, they want to appear morally consistent without actually being consistent. I love my dog, but eating a pig is totally fine. The profile picture becomes a kind of virtue signal, even if the reality contradicts it.
Maybe a comment got deleted. In which case, that's fine, bro. Like, we've got where we wanted to get, and we got the answer. That's all I really care about. But it's like, I just find it interesting. Really, good thing you said maybe, because I have been a victim and lost family and children to someone else's choices. What? What? I'm confused. Good thing you said maybe, because I've been a victim and I've lost family and children to someone else's choice. When did I say anything about that? I'm confused.
You know, I'm not sure what went on, but can you not put yourself in a bad position and realize that you know it's unnecessary? Like it's as simple as that, man. It's like, you know, for example, I always say to people, you know, some people have never felt the cold. Genuinely, some people have never been cold in their life. Like when they go out, they wear a coat. They've got central heating. Experience the cold. Like some people have never experienced bullying. Some people have never experienced, you know, poverty, and that they can't put themselves in a victim's position. That's what I was getting at. Maybe whatever you went through wasn't linked to that. I don't know, but like most of the time, it's because of that. They can't. They don't know what it's like to suffer. Basically, that's what I'm saying. It's fucking crazy.
Maybe at them, two of them are going because do you know what feels like to have someone close? Wait, mate. Oh, okay. I don't know, man. It's just frustrating, bro. Because realistically, the whole point of people talking about what we do is just because they just don't want like suffering. Okay, forget about animal, human. They just don't want suffering. Point blank. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So why is that arguable? I still do not understand. Why does someone? Why does it invoke an emotional reaction out of someone that someone just doesn't want suffering to happen in any form? That's what it is.
Okay, let me ask a question then. Let me ask a question. Going off topic, yeah.
Mm.
So Brenda, is the other one gone? I can't remember who it was. Right, let's just say I I like beer. I always use the beer one because it's a good one because I know a lot of people give up alcohol. There's sober pages. They're like, look, booze is bad. Booze causes breakups. Booze causes accidents. Booze causes death. Booze causes violence, domestic violence, blah 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 blah. And I'm drinking a beer, going, hang on a bit, like, you know, who are you to say this? Why are you better than me? Because I drink beer. Like, but I don't care if people do this and that. So you don't get these people on these pages. So like, what else can I put that in? Instead of the booze sober one, I don't know. I don't know to think of another one. But like, why is it only this topic where the person on the receiving end has to kick up a fuss? I don't get why that is. I don't understand. Like, what if you didn't care? Why are you here? I don't get it. For example, I eat bananas. If there was a channel that was like anti-banana, I wouldn't come on and be like, I don't care about eating bananas. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the that's the most simple way I can put it. I don't.
The thing, yeah. Uh, I believe that, of course, morals are. If she said morals are fake, I don't know if she means morals are subjective in the sense of like there's no true moral framework. Assuming she's saying that because I don't know what else she would mean by that. I agree that there's no. Well, I believe there's no objective right or wrong in the sense of like I can't prove that I'm correct, right? But I still believe that there's a way that's favourable to live my life because it causes less suffering to others. Now, for example, you say morals are fake, right? Would you say human killing another human is wrong? I would assume yes. So when you say morals are fake, I'm confused where you're coming from with this because I might be wrong. Or maybe I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but people usually only say morals are fake, morals are subjective as an argument towards something that they don't really care about. You know, so, for example, if someone was talking about the worst thing, like the worst thing imaginable, murder, against humans, right? Would you be sitting there saying, "Yeah, but like morals are fake, so like why are we talking about this?" Of course you wouldn't. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So why is it now in this instance, morality suddenly being subjective is just a debunker of everything that we're talking about? No, but come on, it's true, bro. Like I don't really, I just don't understand the argument that people have of because I believe in subjective morality, but I still lead my life like not wanting to cause suffering where I can. Like I don't know what to say to that, bro. Yeah, subjective knowledge. Yeah, however you want to word it. Just when they don't care, but as soon as they care about something in their subjective framework, they will be as passionate as you are or I am about this. Yeah, it is a cop out, bro. It is. It is. This brings us back to my comment earlier. You can't justify saying something is right or wrong in a morally relative worldview when an individual is a moral object. Yeah, yeah, but I agree. I can't say well it's wrong because of this. I've admitted that. Like I'm not sitting there saying yeah I'm objectively correct or I'm universally I'm better than you. Of course not. But uh, what I'm trying to say is a moral relativist can still say that okay well I don't want to cause harm because I don't like what harm feels like. Therefore, with my understanding of what harm feels like, I don't want to cause it to another being. I think that's sufficient reason. I don't see why I need a moral arbiter to really say, like God, for example, to say, well, this is wrong because I said so. Because let's say if God is real or not, right? Even the most prolific Christians or any theists in general, they will still say that, like, oh, I don't want to harm someone because I don't like to be harmed. So even with the most prolific theists, they still have a understanding of like harm principle. Um, Call it anything you like, but you're not screaming out abortionist, which makes your argument invalid. When were we talking about abortion, and when did we even stay our stance on abortion? This is what I'm trying to say, bro. Like, what are you talking about? You have no moral standing against killing humans. Did I ever say anything about have I ever once even remotely said anything in this live, me or you, anyone in this live talking about abortion? So where is the relevance to abortion in my? I'm sorry, but like what? Like it doesn't make sense. But I'm confused though because where have I ever? When has abortion even been mentioned in this live, bro? Oh, wait. The statement "your body, your choice" applies to all things. I don't know if I can't lie. I don't know if you thought that through because that ain't. I wouldn't go down that route. I can't lie, but I don't know, man. My body, my choice does not apply for all things. All things, bro. Like, if, for example, what if I wanted to like kill someone and said it was my body, my choice, like because I wanted something from them? Is that moral? Because I wanted something from them? Like, I don't know. God dawned abortion full of chat. The problem is he could do the same thing and say that you're morally wrong, and how would anyone know which one is right? Who's to say in a moral relative worldview? Yeah, I agree to an extent. I do agree that I can't prove like there's a universal moral law that says this is right, this is wrong. But what I will say is I go on like my okay, when I say objective and subjective, my objective reality is different to subjective morality. My objective reality is what I mean, right? So for example, I have an objective reality right now that I can experience pain in some form. Like if I like hit my hand off on my desk, I'm going to feel pain or sensation, right? um that is objective reality, and then you've got subjective morality. My objective reality tells me that I experience pain in some form, and it's logical to think otherwise, that other being humans, animals, feel pain in some form also, right? So if I, for example, don't I know and just go outside and ask anyone, do you like to feel pain? Virtually everyone does not want to feel pain or feel harmed, right? So that should already be enough clue to think, okay, well, that's why I don't want to cause that to another being. The idea of me saying I can prove that as objectiveness is a completely different ball game. That's different because I can't prove anything in existence is objective, and neither can you. And even you, if you believe in God, for example, let's say someone's God said it's wrong to eat animals, or right, whatever, you can't prove your God's objective because at the end of the day, you could say that your morality is objective, but you can only prove that it's subjective if you prove that God exists. But as we know, we cannot prove that God exists because it's a faith claim. Yeah. Well, this is another thing as well. If we're saying, okay, if we want to get into like the philosophy side, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to like cut you off, but like if we want to get into the philosophy side of it, right? Um, if we're saying that God's opinions are objective and then they can never be changed, isn't that putting a limit on God then? Because God's meant to be omnipotent, meaning all powerful, right? So if God is all powerful, then are you telling me that he can't change his moral stances on anything? And how are you as a mere human to tell me that God can't do such a thing? Are you God yourself? No. So then we get into it. See, there's layers to arguments with this, and uh, again, like Brenda, if I'm happy to go into a theological debate because I'm a lot more equipped with that than animal suffering, but well, I can get into the god debate all day, bro. Yeah, essentially. It's like, oh, a book said it, like, okay, well, can you objectively prove that that book is correct? Well, potentially not. So that's when we get into the issue, right?
Have you got a pet that you love? Have you got a little doggy? You've got a little kitten? You've got a horse? Um, this is before it gets deep, deep. Have you got a little pet that you love, Brenda?
You know, God in your worldview, I guess. Man, it's like Jordan Peterson. Like, what do you mean by God? What do you mean by this? It's like, let's not focus on semantics, bro. Mm.
She's an old girl. I hope that she lives for many more years. I really do. So, Brenda, I've come over to this land. So I've come over to this land, your land. I'm guessing this US, and I've treated your dog in the same way that people treat 2-year-old cows. I've come over and treated your dog the same way that people treat pigs, and the same that people treat chickens. Um, I've inflicted misery upon your dog that you love so much. I've inflicted a short life on your dog, who you love. Where does the morality argument stand then? All of a sudden, is it subjective, objective, or does that go out the window? Because I could say, well, who are you to tell me that I can't do that to that dog? Can you answer that for me?
As Twisted said, I'm assuming he's on the same page as me. Free will is like a misunderstood concept. People will say, "Oh, I have free will." Okay, okay. Let me give you an example, right? Um, let's say there's a door. You can choose to open that door, right? Okay. Granted, we agree that we can choose to move our legs and open that door. But can you choose to want to open the door? Did you also choose what led you to wanting to open that door in the first place? Did you choose to also want to be in the situation to open the door as well? Free will. I mean, this kind of goes off topic, but just because she said about free will, um, can you really, can you really say we have free will when, for one, there's been studies showing us that our brain is largely acting out of our control. 95% of our brain is well, I might be wrong with this. I'm pretty sure it's true that like a large majority of our brain is essentially our subconscious programming. So we didn't. That subconscious programming is due to many things, but like mainly like external factors, where we were brought up, even like epigenetics, like passed down from our family. You know, um, so the free will argument, I mean, the fact that you couldn't choose what country you were born in and couldn't choose that you were born in the first place, I mean, how much free will have you got in the first place? If I just chucked you in like a random country and gave you a name and a body, I mean, are you free in that sense, or have you still been given different like, semantics are important, so we don't speak. I mean, I agree, semantics are important, but I try not to get caught up on like, well, I don't think I've really been caught up on a wording like semantics, right? Like, I mean, maybe she has a different understanding of free will than I do. I don't know, but I feel like free will is a very vague concept. I don't know.
Now, I didn't ask anything to do with her diet, but again, it's like a confirmation thing. It's like I've had it before when someone's rang the shop and they've said, I'm bringing my son down for some food, but I'm not vegan. But blah, blah. And it's almost like it's like an added input that was never wanted, but to kind of like reinforce somebody's like position is weird, man. I've seen it quite a lot, man. It's fascinating. Like it blows my head. No comeback, man. Where is it?
I don't know, man. I think like when talking about philosophy and like free will and this and that, it is a very confusing concept. So like, yeah, like semantically, it can get confusing. Like people might mean different things when they say it. Like, for example, if someone's talking about like the triomni nature of God, like omnipotence, omnibenevolence, and obviously we've got omniscience. If we're talking about these different things, people have different understandings of what they actually mean. Like some people believe that omnipotence or like an all powerful God. There's a famous question, right? People will say, if can God create a rock so heavy that you can't lift it? Have you heard of that? Or
No, that's an
essentially, it's interesting, right? So basically, people will say, I'm not saying it's a good argument per se, but it's interesting. People will basically say, if God is all powerful, could he create a rock so heavy that he himself could not lift it? Because either way, let's say if he can create the rock, then he can't lift something, so he's not all powerful. But if he cannot create the rock, then he can't create something, so it means he's not all powerful. It goes into the argument then of like, can an all powerful being actually exist? Because all powerfulness means to be able to do anything. And then we get into the realm of like, well, can God be Satan? Can God be this, that? God be that? I believe that a being logically, like in our understanding of life, could not be all powerful in the sense that all powerfulness actually entails. And then that goes back to the God argument of, oh, well, God said this, so it's okay. Well, okay, so if God said this, is it okay too? Is it, or do you just not question the God that you believe? It's like, yeah, it's like I don't really like the God argument.
Will everyone on this stream buy non-vegan shampoo? Will everyone on this stream buy non-vegan beer? Will people on this stream ride an exhausted pony while they're on holiday? What else is there, man? What else will we do? Because to be honest, I don't think anyone wants to exploit animals, man. But good try. Is she back or not, or is that it? I think, I think.
No, I agree, but I feel like it wasn't going anywhere. The fact of she obviously won't say, "Yeah, you guys are right, man. I'm wrong." It's pointless. Like, well, it's not pointless, but I think that specific conversation, it wasn't really like she wasn't really like taking in that.
Mm. Well, I think we might wrap it up, shall we? It's been fantastic. 140 minutes. What's that in hours? 2 hours and 20. But now I want to send my gone. Right, she's just destroyed that is it. She has shut down the stream. I'm not wrong, not at all. James,
Well,
everything you
okay,
said
then you're
for like
not
10
wrong.
years.
Just fair. There you go. I don't know, man.
That is like, in fact,
But it's like,
I might go and get a chicken fried rice or something after she said that. That is
nah,
that.
because it's obviously, you know what it is, bro. Like I don't want to be like an arse, bro. Like I don't want to be like, oh, Brenda, you're this, you're that. But it's like all I'm trying to do is just basically make arguments to say like, well, we shouldn't be harming something, and that's all it is. Like I don't have an ulterior motive to make everyone fucking see the shit I see. It's just like I just really don't understand why we would not try to strive towards that. I don't personally get it. I just don't get it, man. And I'm sure that she doesn't get my point of view also, but obviously then it goes back to the same thing. Well, why wouldn't you get the point of view of not wanting to suffer, wanting others to suffer? I don't know, man. Where can you go from there? Hello.
So basically,
I
am I
can hear
there?
you now, but
Hello?
you're frozen. I invited you over to see how our animals are handled. I invited you. There is no suffrage, but I can't make the world do it our way. Wait, I'm
Yeah, just
confused.
stop
I
doing it.
invited you over to see how animals. I mean, I don't know where you live, to be honest, mate.
I know that Brenda's been on before, and she's US, and she's got all the nice holistic animals and health and this
Okay,
and that.
see,
I do remember.
I want to just ask Brenda. You say there is no suffrage, but I can't make the world do it our way. See, the thing is, right? Let's say you're saying there's no suffering, like in your practice. What I don't know what you do. I don't know. Is she a farmer? I don't know.
Yeah, she's a farmer. Yeah, she's a
Oh,
nice
okay.
farmer. She's the one who's nice to the animals.
All right, Brent. Wait, hold on. So this is okay. This is my problem, though. You could treat them the nicest way possible. You could kill them in the quote unquote nicest way possible, but it's still killing something that doesn't actually want to be killed. Like it's like I don't really know how we can justify that from a normal lens of like, well, because I don't know about you, bro, but like let's say for example a few weeks ago I was having a shower, right, and I was showering and I didn't realize there was a fucking spider, right. And like I didn't realize, and I looked down, and it was like it went down like the loophole thing, yeah. Like because the water brush went, you know what I'm trying to say? Like it went down the stick thing, and I felt so bad about. It. I was like, oh my days, like I felt really bad. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I couldn't live with myself thinking I've just killed, like I've just sent something off to be killed when it didn't know it was going there. I would just feel terrible because it's just ignorant to that. Like the animal is like ignorant to the fact that it's going to be killed. Like, and I personally I don't get how someone could bring something up. Not to mention, if you say that you love that animal, right, you would feel 100 times worse because you'd have a connection to that animal. So I couldn't even understand doing that to a little insect here. So I don't. I'm not trying to get like come at her, right? But I'm just saying, like, genuinely, how could you like bring something up that's like an innocent animal and it's just like it's not doing anything too bad, it's just living its life, like, and you say you love it, but then you're sending it off knowing it's going to be killed. It's just sadistic to me, do you know what I mean? And I honestly do not see how someone can really honestly sit there and be like, yeah, that's fine. I,
Down in Devon, and I saw like multiple farmers pull up. I'm talking like 20 to 30, somewhere in between 20 and 30. And trust me when I say that all their faces were guilt, pure guilt, man. I can read a book, man, from the cover most of the time, and trust me, man, they knew, man. Like it speaks for itself. The quote I wanted to say was in regards to Brenda and the other one. There are people who want to know more, and people who want to defend what they already know.
I just think for me, I really just don't know how someone couldn't feel guilty doing something like that. You know what I mean? Like even like most people in the world, like people who don't even think about it, they would not be able to like send off something to be killed. I don't think they could. I honestly don't think they could. I think there's like levels to it. There's people who are farmers and they're in it and they're so like desensitized that they're like, yeah, well, it's fine. I don't care, whatever. I mean, you've got people who don't really question stuff like this, but they're just a normal, average, going along with the day person. They're in the middle, you know. Mm.
Teeth, right? And I sat in the car park, and a bloke walked out the vets, and I seen him doing this with like a tissue or a handkerchief. And when he sat in the car, I looked, and he was the car next to me, and I looked over, and he looked normal. So I was like, oh, I thought that maybe he's had his dog put down, but he obviously hasn't. Um, and then 2 minutes later, his missus walked out the vets, and she was in absolute bits, man. And she got in the car, and then I looked over, and they were both fucking in tears. Um, and I don't believe that that can just end at a cow and a pig and a goat and a sheep. Like you've got to be like I'm not saying that like the sheep and the goat and the pig are like in their living room every night asking for biscuits, but that these farmers claim to love these animals. They claim to bring them up and treat them like royalty and treat them like pets and treat them like family. Now, why is it that this couple in the car next to me, they were in bits, man, and mate, they didn't pull off the car park for like 10 minutes because they were so distraught at the fact that they just took their dog, to the vets and had an injection. Now, what is it about these farmers that think that they've got the same like level of empathy and like the same level of emotion and love as these people who own the dog, but they can happily just push their animals towards their death? I don't get that. I,
I honestly believe that people have select. Well, it's just selective empathy, isn't it? Like people care about one thing and not another thing and not another thing. It's like, well, if you can't justify why you care about this animal, not this animal, then of course it's just conditioning. It's just social conditioning. Like that is irrelevant to morality. This irrespective of morality, it's a completely different issue. Like that is just more ignorance than anything, in my opinion. Um, Let me see. Read what Brandon said. When it comes to research, we don't need to harm animals. When it comes to food, that's less of a concern. But we still want them to be happy and healthy. Does that sound fair? Well, is he essentially saying that he doesn't want animals to suffer, but we still want food? Is that what he's trying to say? Well, yeah, but it's like, yeah, but if we needed it like a necessary evil, what we were talking about earlier, if it was a necessary evil, I would agree that it's just an evil, bad part of life that we can't do anything about, basically. But we can though, so it's not necessary. Like I don't know how, if you could, like, okay, Brandon, genuine question, right? If someone like provided actual like genuine studies and they were just coherent studies that they weren't like misinterpreted, whatever, and it was objectively proven that we do not need meat, or at least you didn't need meat for health, right? Or a lot of people, would you believe those studies? Because I feel like a lot of people I talk to, they might actually not even believe the legitimacy of the studies in the first place. So they might like even studies don't matter to them. But then at that point, I would like to argue, well, where do you get your objective truth from then? If you don't believe a study, do you go on vibes? Like what do you go on? You know, I mean, I'm probably putting words in your mouth. Maybe you just do believe in studies, and maybe you're saying there are studies that show we do need it. But virtually every study I've looked at is just showing that like there's no necessary need for animal products in the first world, like at least for talking on a general scale of people. Obviously, I can't speak about very very specific outliers. Like I don't know. I'm not trying to make that claim, but I'm saying for the vast majority of people, there's no nutritional data that supports that we do need it. It doesn't exist. And I've looked at it because, of course, like, and I feel, yeah, that's the issue. I feel like a lot of people just go on their feelings, and it's like that's another thing I want to say is I feel like a lot of people will think that, oh, vegans are snowflakes, they're emotional, etc., etc. But I many times I see non-vegans. First of all, if vegans were really snowflakes and like they were going on their emotions, right? Wouldn't they lead with like wanting to do what benefits them the most, which is eating animal products because it tastes nice? Like if we were really emotional, we would go on we wouldn't look at the objective data. We would just do what we want, right? Second of all, um, second of all, if, for example, if it's shown that animal products are genuinely like not healthy. Well, okay, sorry, not that they're not healthy, but if it's shown that we do not need them for like like our health in the first world this day and age, why would we still ignore the data, but then make out like it's a truth claim that we do need it? Because where are you getting that truth claim from? If you don't believe in evidence, do you believe in like anecdotal experiences of people who say, "Well, I stopped eating meat and then I got ill." Like, well, I'm confused. Like, okay, well, I can just tell you another person who commented, "I went carnivore last week and I did it," or like what are we gonna if you don't believe in like studies as truth claim, then where are you getting your truth from? It's no, like where can you really get that truth from? Yeah, I don't know. According to like that.
I had some tempeh earlier, man, but it's true. When I found that I shred it into little bits, so I put things with it. It's lovely. But when you're out in a block, you can taste the bitterness. Um, so yeah, and I love Mexican food, man. So thank you, Teresa. I'm gonna get on that big time. Um, Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Like I said before, right? I agree that I believe that morality is subjective, meaning I can't objectively prove that I'm right over you. But what I can say is I think, for example, it's wrong to cause harm for no reason. What I mean by this, I'm not saying objectively a God said so, like a moral arbiter said that. What I'm saying is, do I like harm? Do you like harm? Do we like harm? Almost seems like an innate like bad thing in us, like innate, almost like bad thing, and then it can go into the conversation of, well, what is bad? I mean, it's, you know, it's like okay, well, what I'm basically trying to say is no one likes to feel harm or feel no one likes to suffer because it's in the name. Like if you're suffering, then you are by default. If someone enjoys suffering, then they're not suffering because to suffer means you don't enjoy it. You know? Yeah.
Why is it that killing's bad? Let's just not even use killing, just suffering, just misery, just oppression, just exploitation. If you were in that position, you wouldn't want to be in that position. So that is enough to spin it around to the oppressor and say, what makes that bad or good? Well, obviously, because you wouldn't want to be in that position. Why wouldn't you want to be in that position? Because it's bad. There you go. There's the answer, man. It's simple as that. It really is simple, man. It really is very simple, man. Many vegans are not animal rights activists. Vegan is a choice all in its own. Animal rights is a completely different topic. I know vegans that trophy hunt. You don't.
Reasons. If someone's plant based, you're getting mixed between plant based and vegan. I think. But personally, what I'm trying to say is, you're saying vegan is a dietary choice, but I mean, again, it's semantical, really. But plant-based is the dietary choice, and vegan is the ethical stance. So, not that it really matters, but you kind of got mixed up. No, in this conversation, it does matter, but I just think it's like I just know that they'll say, "Oh, but it doesn't matter; it's just a word." But I mean,
No, no, no. Yeah, like in this instance, it's very important. But in most instances, there's the vegan police, and they're like, but no, in this one, it's definitely
yeah,
justified. Like,
I
definitely.
can't wait. Why can't you eat anything plant-based? No, I'm genuinely curious. So
It's
I don't know.
hard. I feel sorry for like the long termers, man, because for me, it's like I've heard this for 6 years, man. 6 years. It's like teaching I don't want to say it in that way because it's like okay, I'm not going to say that. It's just 6 years of this, and you respect to anyone who's
Allergic.
a long term vegan, man, because
Wait, what do you mean when you say you're allergic to like plant-based stuff? What do you actually like? What are you allergic to? Like what type of plant-based? Because I'm no like
right.
genuinely, I'm not really clued up on like allergies, obviously. So I'm
How
curious.
common is it for someone to be? Hang on, what did you say? I can't eat anything from this. How
I
common
can't
is it
have
for someone
sardines.
to not be able
And that's
to
what I've
eat?
seen. Vegans get malnourished and mentally psychologically stressed, and people go on all meat. Okay. No, Brandon said what I've seen. Vegans get malnourished and mentally and psychologically stressed. I would say there's two reasons for that you've seen that. Probably either one, it's probably like, let's say if you've seen a vegan that hasn't planned their diet properly, because no one's arguing that when you're a vegan you have to plan it more precisely, as in you need to think more about your nutrition. It doesn't mean anything to do with, it literally is solely down to the fact that there's less choice of food. That's literally all it is. Second of all, let me see what else you said. When you said psychologically stressed, I mean, well, yeah, because they're obviously against something that most people in the world aren't against. So of course, it's going to be psychologically stressing.
I don't think that. Is she joking? Maybe it's like a fake account because it's just like I don't know because the robot says that it is extremely uncommon for someone to be completely unable to eat a plant-based diet for medical reasons. A person might be allergic to key plant proteins, but most can still eat a plant-based diet. I've never met anyone, like, think how many people you've met in your life who've actually said, I can't eat plants. Like, come on, it's not a thing, man.
Right, let me see what Brandon said. I see what
She's
you're
been,
saying, and I would say my truth claims come from what God has said. I would say, yeah, I believe in anecdotal evidence. Does that conflict? I don't think so. No, but the problem is if we believe in anecdotal evidence, when you're saying, when you just said right before, Brandon, that my subjective morality has no credence to basically, like, I can't say what's right and wrong because I have no moral arbiter and it's subjective, right? Can't that exact same principle apply to anecdotal evidence, because you can't objectively prove anecdotal evidence, it's just word of mouth? The same way I can't prove my morality. So if we're leading with the pretense that my morals are basically, they have no relevance because it's subjective, or there's no like moral objective truth, then how can we admit that anecdotal evidence is a good way to get to the truth if it can't be objectively studied or proven? The problem is you're telling someone else how to live their life based on your relative morality, and I would argue that morality is not relative but objective. Yeah, but again, that's a problem to you because you believe in objective morality. This is the thing, like, it's in a sense. Hold on a minute. But in a sense, right? You'll no, genuinely, I've got a question, right, Brandon? You say that it's a problem because I'm acting as if my morals are subjective, right? I mean, my subjective morals are truth, right? And you're saying that you believe in it. You believe morality is objective, meaning that I shouldn't be saying my moral relativist stance is true. But on the same premise, you're saying that it's a problem that I'm telling people my morals are subjective, but that's a subjective stance. Your
wow,
subjective opinion is that my subjective morality is wrong.
this lad's
So
good. This lad's really good. He's better than I thought. Wow.
no, but it is true though. Like, if we're arguing, like, oh, it's almost like me saying, oh, like, like, you're wrong because your subjective morality can't be proven. Well, that is my subjective opinion. So my subjective opinion on your morality has no more validity than what
Than
you
your
just.
opinion in the first place.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Wow. And also, Louis, sorry, I don't know, it's probably Louis in it. Brenda admitted from the beginning that she doesn't care about the lives of sentient beings. Her smokescreen about being allergic to plants is ridiculously obvious, because otherwise she would have just said that in the first instance. She would not have needed to zigzag through a maze to get to the point of, I agree with you, but I'm allergic to plants. Like, I've heard it all, man. I can't believe what people come out with. I genuinely can't believe what people come out with, man. I cannot. I can't get my head around it, man. Why are you suffering bad? Why are you
Okay,
suffering
wait.
bad?
Okay, why is suffering bad? You are
Brandon,
simply asserting it's bad.
Brandon, why do you? I don't know if you got pets. Have you got loved ones? Why are you upset when your loved ones are suffering? Why are you not happy? Why is it that when your loved ones suffer in any instance, in any scenario, why is it that you don't celebrate with a glass of champagne? I think Brenda's a wind up, man. I can't. I think she's AI, man. I don't agree with you. It's not something someone would just say. Nah, man. I think she's AI. I'm not
See,
having it.
okay.
Brenda's
Let me.
AI. Brenda's
Wait,
a
do you mind if
bot.
I reply to this Brandon guy really quick?
Go on.
He said. Where did he say that? Wait there, hold on. Where is he delete? No. Okay, why is suffering bad? You're simply asserting it's bad. No, well, the reason I'm asserting it's bad is because based on my objective reality, like, for example, I think the question you should be asking me is why do I think bad equals bad? Because how can I prove bad? Not necessarily suffering is bad, right? Because suffering, my answer is that suffering is bad because no, we don't want to experience suffering, and there's like an like objective proof in the brain that suffering causes a certain reaction in the brain, right, which is unpleasant. So the the issue is the issue is here is, are you basically saying that I think your question is essentially how can I say bad is bad because I haven't got a moral arbiter, but the same way you believe in God, but how can you prove that God is objective? It's a subjective belief based on a perceived objective reality, but it's not an objective reality, it's a subjective reality. I don't know, man. Brenda, I don't care who suffers. Animals kill baby animals every day in a horrible way. Let's get the animals under control. Animals start eating other animals while they are still alive and screaming.
Humans start raping other humans while they're still alive and screaming as well. Did you know that, Brenda?
I don't even. I feel like I don't know really what to say because it's then going into the argument of, well, animals do this, so it's okay. It's like I really don't know how to respond to that because it's like,
Hey,
well,
James, you know, I know, and everyone else knows. There's no way out of the maze, man. There's no way out, man.
yeah, because if there was, then no one would be vegan because no one, in terms of just purely taste pleasure, people virtually
Mate, you know what
nobody.
it is? You know the arcade. You've got them pop-up machines. You've got the hammer, and you
Yeah.
have to hammer the things keep popping up, and you
Mm.
can keep hammering them, but they just keep popping up in different places. And you're like, I've got it, I've got it, I've got it, I've got it. Then they just keep popping up, and then your money runs out. You have to pay again. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all I've ever seen in 6 years of this
Yeah,
journey of
it's
just
true.
listening to the same old drivel, and you can keep smacking it. And you might get three in a row. You might go bam, 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 but then they'll just pop up in other places.
Yeah, no, it's true,
Yes.
man. It's a good analogy because that's true.
What's it called, man? The arcade pop-up machine.
Well, Brandon said, well, if morality is relative, there's no reason to say why something is or isn't bad. That's why morality has to be objective, so you can justify telling someone when they are wrong. Yeah, but Brandon, the issue is, can you prove that your objective morality is objective? Because if you can't prove it, it's no different than me not being able to prove my subjective morality. Because right now, Brandon, right, if I have a belief system, let's say I have a religion in which says that it's wrong to kill animals, right? Is that suddenly like a justification to be against it just because of
Guacamole.
like silly? Huh?
Sorry, carry on.
No, sorry. Well, no, I basically said what I said anyway. To be honest.
Guacamole.
Wait, Okay, Brenda. So let me understand what you're trying to say, right? Are you trying to say that like animals kill other animals, therefore we shouldn't be like we shouldn't be like basically put under a moral uh issue for that? Like, I'm confused what you're trying to imply. Like, I don't know, man. It just seems like she's basically trying to say, well, animals do it, so like, why should we care? You know, it's like, well, the same reason we won't do many things that animals do because it's cruel. I don't really know. Like, no, but Brenda owns a lion, two tigers, and two black bears. They eat meat. Bloody hell, Brenda.
Basically, that's what we do. It's guacamole. I don't know if it's guacamole or guacamole. Does it rhyme with guacamole? Because
We
that
are
is.
animals too. Okay, hold. Yeah, it's funny, man. Wait, hold on, Brenda. Are you saying that we are animals and they are animals, therefore we should be able to be justified in acting like them because we both hold the status of being an animal? Is that what you're trying to say? I just want to get it clear because I don't want to put any words in your mouth. You get me? But it seems to me that a lot of people say, well, like animals do this, so they're basically saying, in other words, and we can because they do it, and we're both animals, therefore it's okay because we're both animals. Like, I don't know, man. It's like it's in it. Like, you just no. I started out saying I don't care what you eat. I also don't care what others eat. No, but yeah, but that was ages ago. You said that like about an hour ago. But it's not subjective for me because it's coming from something beyond me. It's grounded.
Can
Yeah,
I,
but I'm saying, look, okay, you could say it's grounded, right? Your objective belief is grounded. But can you actually prove with 100% correction, or like 100% like objective truth? Can you prove that it's objective?
well, can I just say, sorry, mate, just to interrupt. Brenda reminds me of Angarad, the latest farmer, and she's so happy to come back on the cast. She's so happy to jump back in and go, yeah, it's fine, everything's good. Like I can't believe that after everything we've been through with the Welsh farmer, she's so happy to do it again. And it's like they're like happy to go. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, don't worry about that because I don't care. Yeah, and it's like it never ends. It's like they don't give a fuck. They're just like they just carry on and on and on and on. It's like it's almost like that. If they don't try and argue, they know they've lost. So it's almost like if you don't quit the game, you don't lose. So it's
It's
like I'm
basically
going to
just
keep
like
fighting and
I
keep
want to get
fighting.
the
And keep,
last
I'll
word
just
and
keep
kind of
fighting.
thing.
No, you don't, it's not based upon like your determination for carrying on and spouting drivel. It's not based on that. It's based on they're still not winning, man. They're still not bringing any points forward, man. It's ridiculous, like it's nuts, man.
Brenda said, "I absolutely support being against cruelty. I hate animal cruelty." Okay, so this is now the question. Would you say that what's more cruel, right? The animal agricultural industry or not that industry? In other words, is it more cruel to put animals into slaughterhouses or to leave them and not put them into a slaughterhouse? I'm asking a question again. I'm trying to not say, oh, like, do you think this? Do you think that? I'm just asking her the question and see what she says. And because it's annoying, really, because I think she said above, she was like, I don't know if she's talked to me, but she said, no, you keep trying to put words in my mouth. I just don't let you. But as we've seen, I mean, everyone in the live and you can see that I've said many times I don't want to put words into your mouth because I'm aware that it's annoying when people say something you didn't mean, right? So I don't want to be like that. But what else can you mean by what you're saying? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, hate is a strong word, man. To hate animal cruelty, to say that I hate animal cruelty and then carry on with this.
It's like me saying I hate.
Mate, this is bot, man. This ain't a thing. She is, and also every word is spelled correctly as well. I can't. I
I
don't.
was under the hold on. I was under the impression that she like supported. She says I don't support slaughterhouses.
I think she's bot. I think can someone click her and see what she's all about? Because I don't think that's a thing.
No,
I
but
don't.
I'm confused though. Because she said I don't support slaughterhouses. Like, I genuinely thought that she was like she sent animals to slaughterhouses. I might, if I'm wrong, then fair enough. But Brandon said, I think you misunderstood me because I was trying to take the position I thought you were taking, which was a morally subjective position. Wait, Brandon, you might have to like repeat,
Very.
like explain that because I'm kind of lost. I don't know what you meant. Animal agriculture, yeah. She literally holds me.
Right, if everyone can excuse me for 5 minutes, I'll be back, man. Thank you. Sorry for the nip out. I'm back in now.
I did earlier. She doesn't have content. Yeah, but Brenda, what I'm saying is like, if someone says they're against something, right, you would assume that they don't want. Okay, like if you're against like animal suffering, which you say you are, so obviously I'm gonna just say you are against that. If you're against that, then why would you basically argue against people who are saying, "Oh, it's wrong to put animals in like a position in which you're going to kill them for food," even though you know that killing equals harm. It's unavoidable. Like to kill something, it just causes harm. So I don't really understand. Like, no, but I'm not saying like I can make the choice for you. I mean, bro, am I sitting here right now saying you have to do this? I don't. Do what you like, bro. Just because I don't agree with something doesn't mean I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm just saying what I think about it. Do you know what I'm saying? This is the thing as well, bro. What I've realized is like when people talk about vegans, yeah, sure, some vegans might like be very pushy. I don't know, but like with anything else, if you're passionate about something, you could say, oh, like I disagree with this, but that isn't me saying you should live your life like this unless X, Y, Z. Like, bro, do you think I'm gonna like think about what you're doing in your life after like now? Like, just do what you do, bro. Doesn't mean that I can agree with stuff though. I do support you and me. I don't support the way it's done. Yeah, but like there's two things, right? Obviously, people might say like killing. It depends. Like in my particular view, right? I think that it's both cruel to the way they kill the animals and also just killing them in general. I believe that yes, while there are definitely better ways of doing that, I don't think that there's good ways of doing it. Right? At least in comparison to like not doing it in the first place. I think that while someone can do it in a better way, in like a better way. I don't think that it necessarily means that it's justifiable to do it just because it's better than the even worse way of doing it, right? But I think to eat meat, it's like, well, I'm almost confused on the difference, right? Because if you're against like the way they kill them, and you're obviously agreeing that you obviously disagree with like the suffering of the animals, right? But at the same time, there is a level of suffering that is unnecessary. However we spin it, it's unnecessary because one, we don't need it, and two, there is a level of suffering in like, you know, I don't know how you do it, but there is a level of suffering to kill an animal regardless. Um, and then even if there wasn't a level of suffering, some might be against the idea of taking a life away, because if we looked at it in a human context, and no, I'm not saying it's the exact same thing, but if we're talking about it in a human context, right? If I just like took the life of someone and gave them the best life ever, and like cut it short by like years and years, it's still wrong because you're taking their experience away from them and they didn't choose that. So I don't really see how that's also like justifiable, really. I mean, when I say just, you're not going to find put it personally. I don't personally. Veganism should never become practical to people. If you want more humane meat, the amount of meat, the mass production has to stop. You also need less mouths to. That's the thing as well, right? If we genuinely want, like, you know, farmers who might say, like, oh, well, I'm okay with them eating meat. I just don't want them to do it in these harsh ways. I want it to be more humane, quote unquote. Let's say you believe that there are humane ways to kill an animal, right, for food. Well, just kill an animal in general. If there's a humane way to do that, then, like this person says, surely if you want a change in the industry at all, you would need to essentially boycott by being vegan, because obviously being vegan is essentially a boycott of animal products. You would need to be vegan to actually get that demand there to change it in the first place, or be vocal about that the same way vegans might be vocal, like, you know, maybe be like uh some type of like activist that talks about like the cruelty in the industry and whatnot.
Give me 2 seconds. Come in. Still there, James?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. 2 seconds.
Yeah, cool.
I'll set the dog out. Now I'm wiping his paws. Get the dog on. There we go. Are they still there? People still there? Yeah, man. I don't like his paws. I'm looking. He definitely don't like that one. Thing is, he slashes up himself, man. You have to like clean him up.
Yeah.
You have to clean him up. I might just chop his head off. Because God said it was okay. I'll be 2 seconds.
Right, man, because my morality is subjective morality. That's why. That's what they'll say to me. Oh, well, your morality is subjective, so I don't mind. But I also support people that do not eat meat. Eat what you choose. I clearly said, if I do not kill it, I do not eat it. So I'm not supporting an industry. I raise 100% of my own food. Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, you're still ending the life of something that is ignorant to the fact that you're going to kill it. I still don't understand how that's okay. I just don't, bro. I really don't get that. Like, I could not. And this is a problem. Now I feel like you're going to be more focused on me saying that, like, you're more focused on me saying it's wrong than the actual act. So what is in principle, what is worse, right? Me telling someone, oh, you shouldn't kill that animal, or that person killing the animal. I don't see how I'm more in the wrong for telling someone they should not do that. You understand my point? Like, but I think there's too much. The same way you're talking to me about, like, oh well, there's no morality. It's subjective. So like, why does it matter? Like, if we do this or not, Brenda? Like, couldn't I just say to you, well, if morality is subjective, why are you bothered about me critiquing what you're doing? Because like, like you're getting mad at me, not mad, but you're critiquing me being against you. But that's no different from me critiquing you. Like, like it doesn't really. To me, it's like you're almost saying like, well, there's no morality, it's all crap, so why does it matter? On the same time, you're then telling me I shouldn't do something, but that is a moral stance that I shouldn't be doing it, or like it's not right of me to do such a thing. So
Here we go. Right then. What have I missed?
the only thing,
Fill me in, man. What have I missed? Oh, there's more people now.
millions of animals fought in every field your food grows in. Just to go through, what's the difference? Wait, what? Millions of animals fought in every field your food grows in. Yeah, but like, Brenda, what I'm saying is that doesn't even still that. Let's say, right? Are you trying to say that there's animals that die for my food? Therefore, what's the difference to killing the animal? First of all, I don't like the fact that if you're talking about if you're talking about crop deaths, right? Obviously, I do not like the fact that animals die for my food. I'm not like my point is there's two differences in necessary and unnecessary, right? I necessarily need to eat to survive, unless I would literally, if I didn't eat anything, I would die. Obviously, as we've came earlier in that in the yeah, go on.
So no, carry on, mate. I'm just.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
As I wanted to say earlier in
Mate,
the
carry on. Sorry.
yeah, in the live, I was basically saying that in a survival situation, I'd be okay with people eating whatever in a survival situation because you have to put yourself first in a survival situation for your life, right? So when you say, "Oh, crop deaths," or like animals die for your food, what's the difference? The point is, I have to eat something, and I know that some harm is going to happen. Yes, I'm not happy about that. I don't want that to happen, but I'm not going to die, am I? Obviously, the difference is you can choose a choice. While yes, some insects, animals may be harmed, it's indirectly a lot less than what is coming from animal products. So
Yeah.
it's like I still don't understand the argument of like, well, animals or insects die for your food. I don't want that to happen, bro.
Think of
Like,
it. Think of it this way. Think of it this way. You're at a party or a gathering. You're at a party, right? And let's just say I'm the non-vegan, and James has gone right. I'm gonna eat this tofu burger. I'm gonna eat this tofu burger, and I went, mate, you can't eat that. Did you know that like bugs died for that tofu burger? And you're like, yeah, but mate, I've got to eat something. I've got to survive. And I'm like, nah, man, like you shouldn't be eating it because the bugs. And you're like, well, do you want me to starve to death? And I'm like, James, actually, you're right, man. Eat the burger because you've got to survive. You know what I mean? And then you're at the same gathering, and I'm like, James, I'm gonna eat this pig, and you're like, mate, why are you eating the pig? And I'm like, well, why not? And you're like, well, the bugs died, and I'm like, well, but I've got to eat the pig, man. Like, why can't I eat the pig? And it's like, well, you don't need to eat the pig, there. You can just eat the thing that is not the pig. There's a difference between we must survive and the choice of eating a sentient being for no reason. And you can extend that to obviously other areas of veganism, but let's just call it dairy. It's like, well, let me drink my milk, man. Can I have a milkshake? Why are you drinking the milkshake?
yeah,
Well, why can't I? Oh, because cows get raped. Well, yeah, but you drink milk and the bugs die. And it's like, well, it doesn't stand. It does not stand up, man. Do you know what I mean? Like,
okay, yeah, no, yeah. Okay, this is one thing I want to say to Brenda. Right, she said millions of animals, not insects. Animals die every single in animals die in every field your food grows in every year. So you saying it's okay for your food, but not for others' choice of food. That makes you hypocrite. Okay, should I tell you why I don't think it's hypocritical to say that? Okay, because let's say crop deaths, right? If you're truly concerned about crop deaths, right? many more crops are fed to the livestock that are brought in due to animal agriculture. Now she'll probably say, "Well, I don't agree with like standard animal agriculture." What's happened, bro?
Wow.
She might say, right, like, "Oh, well, I don't agree with the standard practices, so it's okay." But it's like, what I'm saying is here, I don't think we should be purposely seeing animals as commodities. The difference is, right, harm minimization. One could argue, well, yeah, well, you're a hypocrite because you're eating.
No, sorry, Matt. I'm trying to pick the dog up, but I can't get in the
No, it's
wire.
all right. But basically, what I'm trying to say is,
Sorry.
one, if she's really truly bothered about crop death, she would be vegan because less crops fed to animal livestock. Second of all, we've obviously stated that level of harm is unavoidable. So of course, as much as I'm not happy about the fact animals die for my food, I don't. What the fuck can I literally have to eat something, right? Now the difference is, I'm saying that I'm trying to choose the choice with the least amount of harm. The least is better than a bad, but I'm saying like it's literally impossible to choose one with no harm, so I'll go for the one with the least harm. Now the issue is her view is basically saying, well, there's harm in crop deaths also. Why don't you just so does it really matter? Just eat whatever. But that's like saying, well, if I press this button, like okay, let's say there's got
And
two different
then
things.
it ends at the dog, and then it ends at the dog. No, you can't do that because the bugs, no, but the dog, no, the bugs.
But should I say something quickly? Right? Have you heard of the trolley problem?
The one where it's got the train track.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, so I'll use this analogy, right? Because I think it fits well. So let's say you've got a button, right? And one button kills 100 people, relative to the other button that kills about 5 people, right? You had to click one button, you have to. So if you don't click one, it's a 50-50 chance anyway. So you kind of have to click one, right? So essentially, most people are going to, with a logic, they're going to click the 5 people, right? Because yes, it's not good, but it's better than the alternative of 100, correct? I would assume most people will say it's better to press the button with 5 people on other than 100 because it's better than 100 people, although it's not good, right? Okay. So what I'm trying to say is essentially, with her logic, it's almost like she's saying, well, even with your food, there's still some level of harm, so you might as well just click the other button. That's essentially what she's trying. Like the logic's following that, and I'm not
Yeah.
saying she's saying that, but
Yeah.
that's the logic is what
She
she's
might
using.
she might as well press the button that kills the most.
That's the kind of logic though, because it's like, yes, obviously I don't want it to happen, but like, it's like, for example, let's say there was a guy, right, who had to choose between the 5 people or the 100 people, and he clicked the 5 people because he was like, shit, well, it's better than nothing, right? Better than 100, sorry. And then he went up to another guy that purposely chose to kill the 100 people with the button. And then the 100 guy was like, well, hold on a minute, you can't slate me for choosing the 100 on purpose because you chose the 5, even though you literally had to choose one of them.
Yeah.
Do you get my point? It's
Mate,
like,
have you heard the one about the driving down the road? So
what? No, I'm not sure.
you've got to drive. You've got to drive down one road. There's no other way to survive. You've got to drive down road A or road B.
Mm,
Road A will ultimately result in the death of multiple animals. You've got no
right.
choice, or even humans, man. You've got to drive down road A,
Yeah.
and that will 100% result in deaths. But
Hmm.
if you resort to road B, uh, you can kill more for pleasure.
Yeah.
Do you choose route A or route B? But what people are doing, they're
Yeah.
choosing route B and then going, well, you drove down route A. And it's like, well,
Even though you had to choose
I
one,
had to
you
drive
had to.
down route A because I've got
You
no
in
other
a.
way to go.
And the good thing with this shows a perfect understanding of the idea between um the understanding of necessity versus non-necessity. If I chose to drive, okay, let's say there was route A, B, and C, right? A and B caused like suffering, like there was just, let's say, 5 animals got killed, right? Choice C, road C, no animals were harmed, right? So, or let's say, okay, let's say, yeah, like no animals were harmed. Uh, you're obviously going to choose C because it's favourable. Now, I'm not saying that to say like veganism causes zero harm. What I'm saying is it shows that less harm is preferable, right?
Preferable, yeah,
So let's
absolutely.
say even if you chose one with one animal instead of 5, although it's not good, it's still preferable because it follows the same principle of harm minimization. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But what is Brandon say? I would be more inclined to agree if you said something along the lines of it's wrong to torture animals with fleas for pharmaceuticals, but I wouldn't agree saying it's wrong to eat meat in general. Look, I'll give you an example, right? Let's say, wait, can you still hear me? I don't know if it's frozen. Oh, you froze a bit. Wait, okay, Brandon. Let's say, for example, right? I, okay. There's instances in which, like, let's say someone eating meat, I wouldn't see it as like, let's say even in a place of non-necessity, right? Let's say there was a dead animal already dead on the road, right? Because it's already dead and you can't cause it any suffering. It's literally not alive anymore. You can eat it if you want. That eating animals in that sense isn't my issue. It's more of the fact of like the what leads to it needing to be killed. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's not the eating itself. It's more so like what happens to it to be eaten. Like let's say if there was like a dead pig on the road right now, it's already gone. I would say go ahead and eat it because it's dead and what I would say the same. Let's say if someone like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah,
I would say
100%,
that.
mate. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm not.
Eat it because you're addicted. Go and get your fix. Yeah, all good. No suffering involved. But as soon as there's suffering and exploitation involved, that's when we've got a problem.
And it's like I feel people get caught up too much
It's
in it.
almost like, can I hang this person on the wall for entertainment? Yeah, man, hang me on the wall. But don't fucking stick a knife in my neck first, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. All plants can be grown in pots and planters. It is not necessary to plough fields. You can easily grow your own food.
Well, I will. Okay, I
Yeah,
will.
that's actually a good point. Fair enough, Brenda. If you're basically trying to say that like I'm a hypocrite because I could plant my own food, but instead I grow it from these places, you've got a point. I'll give it you.
James, don't fall for it, yeah, because
But
even if tomorrow you brought 1 acre and you started growing everything that you grow and you started consuming it, she would still feast cows and sell cows and push them
no,
to
no,
their
I
death.
agree. But I'm not a hypocrite. I'll say when someone's got a point, and I agree that I
But that ain't an option. It's like I understand the gist of it, but it's like, mate, have you seen how many people are on this fucking little crazy island that we're on? That isn't. It's not feasible. It's not like I said. There's a sensibility line, and it's almost like going. Well, it's almost like going. Stop. It's like saying. It's like saying. Stop running people over in your car, and
mm.
then you going. Well. I'll stop running people over in my car when you stop driving a car and just walk everywhere.
Yeah, I
That's what.
agree. I do agree. I do agree. I'm not saying it's like a realistic approach, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do everything now perfectly just so then you can, have a justification or whatnot. But I agree with you. I'm also saying that obviously it is an objective truth that some vegans can do even more to minimize harm. That doesn't negate vegan. Don't get it
Yeah,
wrong. It
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
doesn't negate veganism. I'm not saying it does. All it does is
yeah,
basically prove the fact that they also agree that harm minimization is preferable.
mm, yeah.
So actually, I don't
Yeah.
sell cows, but I do grow 10,000 acres of organic soybeans just for vegans and vegetarians. That's vegan copium. You could grow your own, but you prefer comfort or supermarkets.
Yeah,
Comfort,
that's great.
obviously.
The 10,000 acres of organic soil is brilliant, and then just stop fisting cows. Brilliant, fantastic. Everyone moves on. Everyone's
Yeah,
happy.
but like, how is that vegan copium? Because bro, I literally just said that like planting your own, like growing your own veg would cause less suffering. I'm not coping. I've literally just agreed. Like, I'm not gonna lie with an objective truth, am I? That it's correct. But what I'm saying is that it doesn't necessarily mean that vegans are wrong for wanting to minimize suffering. It just means that maybe they could do even more. It doesn't. It doesn't. You know.
Yeah, but then this is where you spin it back. See, so when they say, "Oh, you need to grow your own veg," you spin it back and go, "Okay, so you're justifying this on the basis of this. So,
Okay.
okay, can I do this to a puppy because they're doing this?" And they'll go, "No." And you go,
There's
"What?"
there's
And
two
I go, "This is
different.
the test."
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's two different ways of seeing it. What I'm saying is, I'm not going to say that it's a wrong. They're wrong because objectively it's true. I would assume it's true that if you grow your own, then you're causing less suffering. What I'm saying is it doesn't negate veganism. At most, all it does is say that people are saying that, oh well, vegans can do even more to minimize harm. That's true, everyone could do more to minimize harm. It doesn't necessarily negate
Hang on,
veganism as a
Vito.
philosophy, you know. It just
Vito,
negate. I don't know.
how am I making excuses? I'm saying what I'm saying is, in a realistic world, we can 100% stop fisting cows. We can 100% stop chopping pigs' bollocks off. We can 100% stop boiling dogs alive. We can 100% stop smacking horses with hammers. In a realistic world, yeah. Eventually, it might get to the point where everyone's got a bit of land and they can grow. Like that doesn't. It doesn't. Just because someone can do a little bit more, it doesn't mean we shouldn't stop the worst fucking thing from happening. That's all it is. It's quite simple, man. For instance, I've got a dog farm, and I'm causing complete and utter unnecessary misery to multiple puppies and dogs in my farm. And you're going, stop abusing the dogs, and I'm going, well, why don't you grow your own potatoes? That's how ridiculous you sound. Like that is how ridiculous you sound, man.
This is my view on it all, right? So I agree that basically it's like it's no different from saying, let's say if I was against like people going and hitting other people in the street, right? Imagine for example, I was like, let's say I wanted to just go and punch people for no reason and kick people in the face right in the street, and then someone came up to me and said, "Well, you shouldn't be doing that. That's wrong." And I'm saying, "Well, yeah, but like you you fund this industry and this causes the suffering of humans, so you're a hypocrite." It's like, well, it doesn't negate anything about what I'm saying to do with that issue. And don't get me wrong, I do understand what they're trying to say in the sense of like, oh well, vegans could do even more, therefore like their point, and don't this isn't me saying oh that it negates veganism. Their point is obviously like, oh well, you're a hypocrite because you're telling people to minimize suffering while you could do more to minimize suffering. But my thing is this: yes, everyone in a sense is a subtle hypocrite. Like I could obviously do more right now. I could give to charity right now. Let's say if I go out and spend £20 to watch a movie, yeah, $20 wherever you're from, I could spend that money and give it to a charity that saves a child in another country. I could do more for harm minimization in every aspect of my life, right? You could go two ways with this. Either one person can think, okay, well, that means I should just do no good now. It doesn't matter because I could do more, so I'll just forget about it. Or
what
they
they're do- what they're doing, that they're attacking someone for doing something positive by not doing something more positive. So again, it's like attacking the GP in the doctor's surgery, saying why you're not saving cancer patients, why you're curing flu and not cancer. That's literally what you're doing. You're going to the policeman and going, why are you stopping? Why are you trying to stop car burglaries when there's people getting murdered? Do you know what I mean? It's like saying, why are you stopping the rape but not the murder of people? That's literally what they're doing. They're taking something positive and going, why are you not doing the utmost you can possibly do? And it's embarrassing, really. It's embarrassing. It's
Yeah,
about
no,
to,
I agree. I mean, it
it's about to
doesn't.
shed
It
the
feels
panic,
like
really.
for me, it's basically like saying, well, you could do more to minimize harm, so don't get mad at us for doing whatever. It's like, let's say if someone's a farmer and they like send animals to be killed, or they kill their own animals, right? I feel like them saying like, oh well, you don't grow your own veg, therefore you shouldn't care about me killing an animal is no different from me saying to someone, well, let me like, okay, let's say for example, someone wanted to go around and kill dogs, right? And then I said, well, that's wrong. And they're like, well, hold on a minute. Do you grow your own veg? You do know more animals are dying. Therefore, you shouldn't be able to kill this. It's like, do you get the point though? Like, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I get what they're saying. You could do less. You can cause less suffering. Yes, of course I could. Everyone can. I agree with that. I'm not going to sit and say I can't. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't negate the idea that we should minimize
It's like
harm as much as we can.
it's like smacking someone with a cricket bat and then going, "What are you doing, smacking them?" And then you go, "Well, you fucking you tried on you you slapped your missus in 2009." Do you know what I mean? It's like what
Nah, but I feel
why
like it
are you like
reminds me.
getting to the like the most minimalistic thing you can possibly get to? It's like I'm allowed to
No,
do this because
it,
you did that. So you'd never get fucking anywhere, would you? You'd
nah,
never
I
stop
agree
anything.
though. It's
No one
almost
would do
like,
anything. Do you
imagine,
know what
yeah, imagine someone went on the streets and killed someone, yeah. Well, no, imagine someone went on the street and killed someone, or like they kept them or some like captive, right? And then I was like, yo, you're wrong for that, bro. Like, why are you doing that? And they're like, hold on, haven't you bought a phone 5 years ago that had like gelatin in it? You literally just like,
I mean?
it's like, mate, like, what? Obviously, everything causes suffering. It doesn't mean that we should justify other bits. like I said, all it means is that people should try and do even more to minimize that suffering.
And the fact they're here in the first place speaks volumes. Like I said before with the booze thing, like I said before with the banana thing, the fact that you're here speaks volumes. It's like no one else has to defend their choice.
Yeah.
Like just like farmers, no other occupation in the world has to defend what they're doing apart from farmers. Why are you defending it? It's quite strange that you're defending it. It's like, you know what I mean? It's really weird, isn't it?
Yeah. I will say I need to go literally in a minute, but one thing I want to say quickly is, wait, let me veto. It's just vegan coke. I don't think it's coke though, man. Like I'm being as real as possible. Like, what I'm saying is there's just
Veto.
because people can
No.
do more, just because people can do more as vegan or anything, it doesn't negate veganism. It just means that they can do more. It doesn't mean that, oh, no point in being vegan now. I mean, all it does is give you ammunition to say, well, you could do even more. I mean, you can, but like anyone in the world can. What does that mean? You can't ever critique anyone for doing something wrong because you could have done more. Also, I just think there is nothing less masculine than a soy boy. The world needs to know.
Your cows eat the soy, man.
I don't get it though, because like, how is it bad that? What do you mean? There's nothing more masculine. I mean, there's nothing less masculine than a soy boy. What's it mean, bro?
Like, imagine me slamming him off the floor now and then putting him on the barbecue and then
Jake,
going,
why do you keep a captive in your house?
you killed the bugs. He's not my dog. He's not my dog, Vito. But now that he's in my care, I'm going to look after him.
Bro, I just find it a bit mad though. Like, we're really at the point where it's like, well, I can, like, someone saying they can basically stab a pig to death because you have a pet dog. It's like, what the fuck?
He's not even mine. Like what do you want? I've got two choices. I can
It's
either
just
care
mad,
for
bro.
him
It is
or
mad.
not care for
It's
him.
mad.
Like, what do you want me to do? Like,
Hold on a
and
minute.
imagine if I didn't care for him and I just chucked him outside and just flung him in the bush and went, yeah, but look what you killed with your potatoes. It don't add up,
Bro,
man.
listen, mate. Jay, you can't be against like thousands of people dying, bro, because you own a hoodie, yeah, and that hoodie there was suffering when that was made, so you can't be against it, mate. It's
Why
not
you go
vegan clothing
around
though. It's
fingering
just
people? Do you know what I mean?
you are.
Honestly, man, I've heard it all. I just cannot believe it. Anyway, James,
Yeah,
man, thanks for your time.
that's
I
good,
think it's
bro.
time to wrap it up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brenda, a soy boy is someone who chooses to consume milk from beans instead of milk from a hormonal female cow, basically. Even though
What's the
the
soy?
hormonal female cows get
Nah,
fed.
bro. When he's saying soy, bro, I'm pretty sure he's saying like people. I think it's almost this like thing that people who like care about something in the terms of like animal suffering, they're like
No.
not masculine. It makes
It's
no
just
sense.
someone who doesn't drink breast milk, basically. That's the term they've
Yeah,
come up with.
but I mean, people usually use soy boy when it's like calling someone like a pushover, basically. Like, obviously, I don't know if I can swear on here, but I'm saying like they don't address. Yeah, but I'm addressing criticism though, bro. I've literally just said like it would cause less suffering if people made their own crop. Like I haven't shied away from that. Like I'm confused.
Right, so that one there, dog and a pet is different. Whatever.
Me
Dog
too
gets
more than the joke
what
take
what good did the cow do to ever help a human? Mate, tell me what this chihuahua did for me. What has he done for me? He's a pain in the arse. Do you know what I mean? What has he done? I've just slapped him with sorry mate, you're good.
Bro,
You're
hold
good,
on,
you're
they're
good.
gonna get onto you for that, bro. You just
What
dropped
has
the
he done for me? Nothing.
mate. They're gonna get onto that. Oh, you've just dropped the camera on its head, mate. How can you be? How can you be?
We're offline. We're offline.
Mate, how can you be against like people killing billions of animals a year? You've just dropped a phone on his head, mate.
Yeah, have some iron brew. He'll be right. Yeah, have some iron brew. Anyway, yeah, James, thanks, man. It's all good, and
Yeah, that's right, bro.
I should let the dog free. Yeah, Vito, let me just put the little chihuahua outside. Who lives off like 20 gram of like I don't know what every day. I don't know what you want me to do with him. Like if I could, I would. James, sound anyway.
Good one, bro.
Thank you to John. Thank you to Kerry. Thank you to UK Freedom Fighter. Thank you to all the trolls. You are good for nothing. I'm only joking. We love you really. Brenda, give it up, man. You know it's not right. Thank you to Undi Lambretta. Laura, she's been quiet, unusually quiet. Fukan Rabi, sound. Yeah, man. Appreciate everything, and I'll catch you soon. He is very sport, man. Apart from when I dropped the bloody tripod on his head. You can see him. I'll have to give him some treats now. Nice one, man. Honestly, thank you. And yeah, man, it's been good. And James is impressive, man. James is 22 years old. I know I keep saying it, but I can't believe the head he's got on his shoulders, man. So yeah, well done, Laura, man, putting the graft in. Yeah, James is doing the video in now. Basically, he's a local lad. He messaged me a few months ago, and he just said, "I'm glad I've met you. Someone local thinks the same." Bang, and he's the one who recorded the pork wagon, and he's the one who recorded the other bits and bobs we did lately, like the new stuff. So quality. Sound James, man. See in a bit. John, nice one. Yeah, sweet. Take it easy. God bless. Give my love to the family.